Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters, cooling out, having fun, drinking yayan with Yahweh Shai up in the kingdom, yeah.
Who are we? Israel! That who are we? Israel! Can't be you.
Israel.
Who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power.
I said, who's the power?
Yahweh.
Shalom Yasharallah.
Shalom!
Shalom, shalom. Welcome to another class here with ISVHBK. We're going live here in Houston for the Shabbat. The brothers out there in Virginia and in New York, they're in Delaware right now for the summit that is currently being hosted by Masharai Yasharallah in Delaware. So, may the Most High bless them and all the brothers that were able to go out there to be a part of the unity. May the Most High bless them. May the Most High bless their travels, safe travels, and may the Most High bless the event and the love. So, we would definitely like to wish a safe travels to all the brothers and sisters that's out there traveling. We weren't able to make it, so we'll do class while they're out there. So, with that, we'd like to say, we got 4 schools here. Oh yeah, by the way, our name is no longer ISVHPK. Our name is now Stream of Wisdom. Stream of Wisdom. So it's Stream of Wisdom, S.O.W. We got to get some new shirts made. So yeah, we're no longer ISVHBK. We are Stream of Wisdom. In other words, sow. So what are you sowing? How are you sowing your seed? What kind of seeds are you sowing? So Stream of Wisdom or S.O.W. So, all right. So we got 4 schools, with the Stream of Wisdom. So of course we're located here in Houston, Texas. The address is on the screen, 231 FM 1092, Stafford, Texas, zip code 77477. Got a school in San Antonio as well, about 3 hours away from us. Their address is 4444 Walsham Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, zip code 78218. So the Houston and the San Antonio school, we have the same class days and class schedule. Class schedule. We have the same class schedule, days and times. It's Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, from 7 to 9 here in Houston, 7:30 to 10 in San Antonio. Friday from 6 to 8 here in Houston. Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in both locations. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe to the Houston and San Antonio channel. Then we got 2 schools on the East Coast. We got Virginia. Their address is 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. Then we got Rochester out there. Address is 1600 Lyle Ave, Suite 1A, Rochester, New York, 14606 is the zip code. And their class times and days is Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. And I think they might have changed that to 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. I think they changed it to that. And Saturday is going to be from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. So David asked, why did we change the name? We changed the name because ISVHBK sounded very similar to ISUPK. And sometimes when you search our channel on YouTube, their videos will pop up. Nothing against the brothers and nothing against the school, ISUPK, of course, nothing against them. May the Most High bless them, continue to grow them. Nothing against them, but if you search our name and then their name pops up, we get that a lot. And then a lot of the times, if people see us and they ask what camp are we or what school we are, when we say ISVHBK, it sounds so similar to ISUPK. They're like, oh, y'all are ISUPK. So it's just it's just to switch that, so that it don't seem like, at the end of the day, we're all brothers. At the end of the day, it don't matter what school you're a part of. We all come from the 12 tribes.
That's
this
right.
ain't no gang. This ain't no gang. It ain't no boys club. It's none of that. But, some schools have their beliefs. Some schools, we all believe in the same basic things for the most part. But, we want to make sure that if you look us up, then, we pop up, of course. So, yeah. So that's why we did the name change for the most part. Plus the acronym, I'm sorry too, plus ISBHPK is long. That's a long acronym. It's easier to just do S.O.W.
Right.
So, you see what I'm saying? It's easier to have a shorter acronym. So that's why we switched up the name. So, yeah. But, we switched up the name, but we ain't switched up the spirit. It's the same spirit. So, I think the name fits. I think the name fits our school too, Stream of Wisdom, because of the way that we teach and what we go into, how we handle our classes. I think it fits us. So I think it's a good name. But yeah, like, share, and subscribe, man. Like, share, and subscribe to all 4 schools, the Houston, Virginia, Rochester, San Antonio channel. If you haven't, like, share, and subscribe to Mashaba's Blog Talk Radio. He does that like Monday through Friday. If you haven't already, he does that Monday through Friday in the morning. And like, share, and subscribe to the 5 Minutes of Wisdom, the Hidden Truth Bible Show, the Israelite Media Corp. Like, share, and subscribe to the Kids channel. We got to change the Kids channel if we haven't, from ISBHPK Kids to S.O.W. Kids. We got to change that as well. And the kids class is every Sunday here at 2 p.m. We won't have a kids class this Sunday, right? Yeah, we won't have a kids class this Sunday. Just let y'all know. Which is of course, y'all know we do the academy here in Houston every Tuesday. Virginia and Rochester is every Monday. For those that want to, further their growth in teaching. Listen, we had 2 brothers street speak for the first time. We went street speaking last night. We had 2 brothers street speak for the first time last night. So, Barakatah Yahweh for that. So, brothers, if you do want to, if you're in the area, you do want to take your teaching to another level, then definitely, attend Hebrew Academy, where you're able to get that practice of breaking down the scriptures and speaking in front of people and getting your reading down and all that. It's not going to happen overnight, but with consistency, it'll come. If you'd like to contact any of the priests, you got Kwatazat. His number is 303-557-8979. You got Priest Kazakia out there with Zion and all the other brothers in Delaware for the summit. Kazakia's number is 757-300-4047. We ask that you text only during class. If you'd like to support, your support is definitely welcome and needed. Listen, man, you can hop on Chosen Creations, support, our store on Chosen, our Etsy store, Chosen Creations, get you some nice things made, personalized items as well, and we do got sweet ambiance if you would like to, smell good. If you'd like to get some nice fragrances, things of that nature, and the donations, man, donations are definitely welcome and needed. If you do give, we would like to say the water. For those that do give, it helps out a lot. It keeps the doors open, keeps the lights on, keeps the internet paid, keeps a place for people to come and congregate. We already kind of need a bigger building here in Houston. All the seats were filled yesterday in Houston, and we just moved to a bigger school, and we need a bigger building already. So, if you'd like to give, man, if you'd like to support, Virginia needs a bigger building too. Their seats are completely filled too. And Rochester needs a bigger building. So San Antonio needs a bigger building. For sure they do, because they got a lot of brothers. But, if you'd like to give, man, if you'd like to help and support, help and support, man, help and support the cause.
Right.
And for those that do help and support the cause, we'd like to say the water, meaning thank you. All right. So that's it for the announcements. That's it for the announcements. Everybody, Imadium Wapunya Yerushalayim. Let's rise into the Sabbath ceremony. Oh, man. Almost missed. All right. Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Ahawa'ah.
Ahawa'ah.
Netanyahu.
Award.
Zayawam.
The water. Aman.
As blessed you, Yahweh, the name of Yahushua, gives us the light this day. Thanks. So be it. The light represents our wisdom, knowledge, understanding, going up, obtaining from the Most High, from the Scriptures. Sorry.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Ahawa'ah.
Ahawa'ah.
Netanyahu.
Rayah.
The water.
Aman.
As blessed you, Yahweh, the name of Yahushua, gives us a sweet savor. Thanks. So be it. The frankincense and myrrh. The frankincense and myrrh represents our prayers going up to the Most High as a sweet savor.
So somebody put something in there? Rakatha Yahweh.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Ahawa'ah.
Ahawa'ah.
Netanyahu.
Shabbat. Shalom.
The water.
Aman.
As blessed you, Yahweh, the name of Yahushua, gives us Sabbath and peace. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121. Anashad.
Anashad.
Yem Yah. Al-Hahorim. Na'ayah.
Na'ayah.
Yahuwah. Zoria. Yahweh.
Shai.
Mayim.
Shemayim.
Ratazah.
La'ah.
Mawat. Galia. Yala'ah. Nawam. Shashoramar.
Yasharallah.
Yahweh.
Shamaria. Yahweh.
Zalia.
Ayel. God. Shamash. Yala'ah.
Bayawam.
Wala'ah.
Alamanah. Layala. Yahweh. Yashamaria. Korai. Yashamar. Asha. Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Awalakia.
Wa'ayah. Ma'adan. Aman.
This is Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out, thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. Bahashem Yahushai.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Aman.
Shema Yasharallah.
Shema
Let's hear Israel. Yahweh, our power. Yahweh is one.
It's our Father prayer. Abanoah.
Shemayim.
Kodash.
Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malach. Tamah. Zaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ratazah. Kawah. Hayah. Shemayim. Noah. Lacham. Kol. Yawan. Waslachno. Kamawatno. Haslachno. Kamawatinao. Wala'ah. Sayawun. Abo. Shino. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Lakad. Amalakwa. Wa'ala.
This is the Lord's Prayer. It can be found in Matthew chapter 69. 69. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Ha'ishra.
Masawa. 10 Commandments. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain.
It's like it.
Zakar.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet anything that is of thy neighbors. Yeshavim, which means be seated.
Probably like this. All right. You're gonna be the first reader, but so yeah, so we're gonna be at Numbers, not Numbers, Slack it. We're gonna be at Deuteronomy. We're gonna be starting at Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 1, and we're gonna read till the end of Deuteronomy chapter 5. And then we're going to read Ecclesiastes chapter 42. And then that'll be it. Is this a decent reading? All right, so Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 1.
Shalom to everybody online.
Shalom, shalom, everybody. Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 1. Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spake unto me, and we compassed Mount Seir many days. And the Lord spake unto me, saying, Ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn you northward, and command thou the people, saying, Ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau.
See that? So we were supposed to pass through the coast of the children of Esau. So real quick, all Moses is doing right now, remember we're about to enter into our land, and the order was that that generation that walked the wilderness for 40 years, they weren't going to make it to the land, save Joshua and Caleb. So everybody, what was it? That was 20 and over, wasn't going to make it. So this is everybody else that's 20 and under, right? So Moses is just giving them pretty much the history of everything that happened. So even now, Moses is telling them about when they came to the Red Sea, and the Most High was like, we're going to pass through the land of Seir, which is where Esau dwells. See that? So a lot of the times when you read the scriptures and you see Mount Seir, that's talking about Esau, because that's Esau's land. That's where they dwell, in the mountains of Seir. All right, go ahead. Verse 4.
And commanded thou the people, saying, Ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you.
They shall be what?
They shall be afraid of you.
Go ahead.
Take ye good heed unto yourselves, therefore.
So it says that Esau was going to be scared of us while we were passing through. Why? Why would Esau be scared of us as we're passing through? What's up?
It's just like Esau and the other nations, they heard of how the Most High was with Israel.
So they knew what was up. They knew if they came against us, that could be the end of them too. Remember, the scripture also says that when we were leaving, I'm quoting it, but it says a dog, what did it say? Like a dog can't even wag their tongue against us? Something like that. So they couldn't even, if a dog couldn't do that, what could a nation do? They had to respect too, or the Most High will take them out. Read on.
Meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land.
You see that? So the Most High was like, don't meddle with Esau. And as y'all can see, why did he say don't meddle with Esau? It wasn't just about the land, but he didn't want us to get tainted by Esau, the vilest man on the earth. And guess what? We meddle with Esau now. We meddle with Esau now, man. It's so bad that you can go to an Israelite and tell them they're an Israelite, and they'll ask you, what about the white man?
Yep.
It's sad. Israelites care more about the white man than their own people, than their own history, than their own culture that was lost and taken from them. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the Most High was like, meddle not with them. Go ahead.
No, not so much as a footbreadth.
Yeah, don't meddle with them, because I'm not about to give you any of their land. I want you to be separate. I want you to be separate. Go ahead.
Because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession.
See that Mount Seir was Esau's possession, but our possession was Israel. You see what I'm saying? Hold that. Go to Deuteronomy 33. Go to Deuteronomy 33. No, I'm sorry. It's 32 and verse 8. Go to Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 8.
Basic scripture. Go ahead.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
You see that? It said that he separated the sons of Adam, so don't ever forget that. So, yeah, we were meant to be separate from Esau. They are brothers, technically, yeah, they are. But we were meant to be separate. Why were we, not just Esau, we were meant to be separate from all nations. Go to Psalms. Yep. We were meant to be separate for a reason. Go to Psalms chapter 106. Psalms, keep saying Psalms. Go to Psalms chapter 106 and verse 35.
Book of Psalms chapter 106 and verse 35.
This is why we were supposed to be separate. Go ahead.
Verse 35. But were mingled among the heathen and learned their work.
And that's why the Most High says back in Deuteronomy 2 and 5, do not meddle with them. Don't meddle with them, because you'll become mingled with them and learn their works. And learn their works. Now, y'all want to know what's cold? I'm going to show y'all a deeper meaning to this that we ain't never considered. So we do know that we were mingled amongst the heathen and learned their works. But think about it. Where does your work start? Before you do anything, where does your work start? Just think about it. In your mind. In your mind. So before you even start doing a certain type of work, what happens? Your mind changes. So you will lose this pure mind that you had towards the Most High, towards the scriptures, and then your mind becomes very carnal. And then when your mind becomes very carnal, your mind is defiled. So guess what? You start to speak and do, you start to speak defiled things. Then your actions become defiled too. So when it says we were mingled amongst them and learned their works, dude, our minds got tainted before we ever even started doing their works. You see what I'm saying? Our minds became defiled. Think about it. Just think about it. That's why even right now, our minds as Israelites is so defiled that guess what? You know you're an Israelite. You know the do's and don'ts of the Bible. You know how you're supposed to move. And you still have a hard time moving the way you're supposed to move. It wasn't like a flick of the switch. It's like this real work that you got to put in to get to this certain, to fight back to what the Most High wanted you to be at, how He wanted you to think. But why? Because we mingled with the heathen and we learned their works. We learned their mind. You see what I'm saying? We got defiled by all of that. What's up?
Just on I got a precept on the defiled mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 15. Unto the pure, all things are pure.
You see that? Bruh, read that again.
Unto the pure, all things are pure.
Now, you want to know what's crazy? There was a time where we did move in a pure mindset, when we did move in a pure outlook. I'm going to show you. You're going to hold that. Somebody else give me Philippians. Somebody else give me Philippians. We moving. Go to Philippians 4 and 8. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 8.
The book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 8.
So when it says unto the pure, all things are pure, what was the pure things that we were thinking about? Read on.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true.
Whatsoever things are what?
True.
We were thinking on things that are true. We always thought on things that were true. But when we got mingled amongst the heathen and learned their works, when we did the opposite of what it said in Deuteronomy, bruh, the truth didn't matter anymore. The truth didn't matter anymore. We rather believe lies. And you see that to this day, where our people would rather believe lies. Go ahead.
Whatsoever things are honest.
Again, we would rather believe things that are lies and not things that are honest. Go ahead.
Whatsoever things are just.
And before we even move on, like, you see how it says whatsoever things are true, and then it says whatsoever things are honest? Don't that like seem like it's talking about the same thing? But there's a difference between truth and honest. You can have an honest person and you can have somebody that just tells the truth. Even a liar can tell the truth sometimes. You see what I'm saying? But a person that's honest, they're not just going to tell the truth. They're not just going to tell the truth. They're going to always move. It's like they take the truth to a whole nother level. That's why they call Abraham Lincoln Honest Abe. I don't know why, but they were associating. They associate you being honest more with your character. You see that?
God.
So a right, doesn't it say a right, honest, virtuous woman, something like that?
Yeah.
Butcher in the scripture. Go ahead.
Whatsoever things are pure. Whatsoever things are lovely. Whatsoever things are of good report. If there be any virtue, and if there be any praise,
go ahead.
Think on these things.
Those are the things that you're supposed to think on. So now it says, whatsoever things are true, honest, just meaning righteous, whatsoever things are pure, lovely, of a good report, there be any virtue, any praise, think on these things. So now go back to Titus, chapter 1, verse 15. Go ahead.
The book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 15. Unto the pure, all things are pure.
So the pure-minded person is going to be thinking on those things that we just named in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. But what does that mean if you're thinking on those things? That means that you're going to be in situations where you're not going to want to tell the truth. You're not going to want to be honest. You are not going to want to be pure. You are not going to want to be righteous. You're going to want to do the complete opposite. Your mind is going to want to go there first, I should say. Your mind is going to want to go negative. That's why it says whatsoever things are pure. It says unto the pure all things are pure, because there's going to be situations that's going to make you want to leave off from that pure way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Life does that to you all the time. It throws negativity into your mind. whether it's with people, whether it's with your own life, whether it's with finances, whether it's with the Most High, whether it's with, like, it could be anything. But life brings those negative thoughts to you all the time. But that's why it says, unto the pure, all things are pure. Because when a certain situation pops up, it don't matter. A pure-minded person is always going to try to see the good. You know one thing the truth taught me, and I'm sure it taught a lot of y'all, that a way of thinking that learning that I was Israelite, being in the truth, and being a part of the body, taught me that I never, ever considered when I was in the world, or even think like, was, you know, when something bad happens, you used to just be like, man, golly. In the world, you just like, something bad happens. But in the truth, you know what happens when something bad happens? You're like, why? You're just like, why did this happen? It wasn't like in the world where it's like, it just happened and you're like, golly, man, this happened. In the truth, when you're rolling with the Most High is always on your mind. Dude, when something bad happens, you're like, what happened? Yahweh, why are you doing this? Why? Where am I messing up at? Okay, let me examine myself. I don't think I'm messing up. You know what? Let me go to somebody else. Tell them about what's happening. If they could tell me why it's happening concerning my spirit, then I better listen to it. I better listen to what they're saying, because obviously I don't see it, so I better listen to what they're telling me as to why it could have happened. Now, if I happen to tell somebody about what's going on and they're like an elder and they're like, yeah, man, hey, but they don't really have anything to say, then you know what I gotta think about? Maybe it's a test. Maybe the Most High just wants to see how I'm rolling. You see what I'm saying? But that's a mentality. That's a mindset that I never had until I came into the truth. That's a real pure mindset. So always trying to figure out why these things happen. You see what I'm saying? What's up?
I have a precept on what you're talking about.
Yeah, what you got?
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 14. In the day of prosperity, be joyful, but in the day of adversity, consider.
Yep. You know, it's funny. I was just thinking about going there. Read it again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 14.
You got ears to hear. Listen.
In the day of prosperity, be joyful.
Yeah. When things are good, be joyful. Be very happy. Rejoice. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
But in the day of adversity.
But when you're going through adverse situations, when things get hard, when things get rough, when your mind is weighed down, when you don't know if you want to keep going, when you don't know if you want to stay down and true and committed to the Most High and stay and keep your commitment to whatever it is that you're committed to, and you want to keep fighting and pushing through, when all that gets cloudy because of the afflictions and you don't feel like doing it no more and your body's tired and you aching and your husband's pissing you off or your wife is pissing you off and your kids is pissing you off and you're broke, you don't got no money and your car breaks down and you don't got no food because the food stamps ran out, or you don't get food stamps, and this
Going through it.
you know, you went to the emergency room like years ago, but they finally hit you with a bill and you realize that the bill is way higher now. And
$10,000 bill.
yeah, like they waited until the bill got to $1,000 for them to send you a letter saying that you got to pay for it. And you're like, golly, that's what happened to me last night, y'all.
Oh, dang.
Went home, opened up letters. Nobody wanted to give me any money. Without some high interest, of course. And I open up one letter and it's like, I owe $1,000. I'm like, in 2017? You sent me this now, 6 years later. And you really think you're going to pay it. But luckily I had a brother to say, well, yeah, it falls off your credit in year 7. And I was like, oh yeah, y'all definitely ain't getting this. I'll wait another year. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make, man, is read that second precept again. This is the point I'm trying to make.
In the day of adversity, consider.
Do what?
Consider.
Yeah, man, think. Dude, think. Think. You want to know something? Heathens don't think. We were mingled amongst the heathen, and guess what? They don't think. That's why they could worship rocks and stones and statues, because they don't think. Christians don't think. That's why they put up Christmas trees. And bunnies don't lay eggs. They don't think. All the religions from the Bible don't think. Muslims don't think. Ain't nobody thinking, man. Ain't nobody considering. You see what I'm saying? Like, the world is going to hell. The world is like falling apart. But ain't nobody thinking. The world is crumbling around you. Right? All around you. And you're not chasing the Most High. You're chasing your life. You're trying to chase a job. You're trying to chase your comfort in this world that's about to be destroyed. And guess what? When the afflictions come, because you're serving the Most High, and the afflictions are supposed to come because you're serving the Most High, ain't nobody considering. And that's where you fall, because you don't ever consider it. It says the Most High is a consuming fire. Right? So if you're trying to attain to the Most High, what does that mean? Fire hurts. It ain't easy to do the right thing. Ain't nobody considering, though. But I get it. I was once young and didn't consider either. I was once young in the truth, young in the spirit, immature in the mind, and I didn't used to consider. So when times got hard, you know what I did? I crumbled because I didn't consider. I didn't consider why things was hard. The only thing that I considered was that things was hard. The only thing I could consider was that I feel uncomfortable. Is that I don't like the situation. Is that I don't like how I feel. I don't like the position that I'm in. I don't like where the Most High has me. And I wouldn't consider nothing good. I would just consider how I feel in that moment, in that time, and how I feel about the situations that I'm in. And because of that, you know what I did? My conscience was defiled, dude. My conscience was defiled. And I messed myself up all the time. I kept making wrong decisions because I wasn't making sound, sober decisions through the trials and tribulations. Going through that fire, dude, I wasn't making smart decisions. I was making decisions based on my emotions and how I felt. And guess what, y'all? They were always wrong. And I kept making them. I kept making these wrong decisions. But I was young-minded. Somebody go to 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 19. I was young-minded, and I did a lot of damage to my life. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I didn't have kids at the time, because I would have did damage to their life too. Guess what? Because I didn't consider my kids. I wouldn't have considered my kids in my time of affliction. Right. I wouldn't have considered what they needed. I would have only considered what I needed, how I felt. I didn't even consider the brothers and sisters. Y'all see what I'm saying? But before you read that, read 1 Timothy's. Read that. Read that Ecclesiastes again, and then we'll go to Timothy's, and then we'll go back.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 14. In the day of prosperity, be joyful. But in the day of adversity, consider.
Y'all better think. Y'all better think when y'all are going through some stuff. Consider what you're going through. And if you can't consider, bruh, you better go to somebody that can help you to consider, or teach you how to consider. Teach you how to think, consider for you. Because if not, you might end up being a reject. Read 1 Timothy 1:19. Go ahead.
1 Timothy chapter 1:19. Holding faith and a good conscience.
Holding what?
Holding faith and a good conscience.
You see that? This is one of my favorite scriptures about the mind. It tells you that you got to have faith and a good conscience. Have faith and a good conscience towards the Most High.
Right.
Read.
Which some have. It's a lot. Which some having put away concerning faith have made shipwreck.
You see that? Some people put away their good conscience because they just have faith. They put away a good conscience. Listen, we all have faith. You know you know you're part of the 12 tribes. See what I'm saying? Your spirit bears witness. You know what tribe you're from. You know that this is it. You know that this makes sense. You got faith. But a lot of us don't have a good conscience. The conscience is negative. It's because the conscience is negative. The scripture says because your conscience is negative and you put away your negative, you put away having a good conscience because you have faith. You put having a good conscience on the back burner because you have faith. It says that you make shipwreck. You sink. You sink and you drown. We were talking about it yesterday in class about being depressed and how it's like you're drowning. But if you don't have that good conscience, man, you drown. And guess what's dope about a shipwreck? Well, it's not dope if you're on the boat, but what's dope about a shipwreck? There's a reason why he said you make a shipwreck. A ship don't just on top of the water 1 minute, under the water the next. Like 1 minute it's on the water, the next minute it's just gone. Disappeared. That's not how a shipwreck happens. A shipwreck, especially if you watch the Titanic, these cats knew they were going to die. They knew they were going to die. Everybody knew the boat was going to sink before the boat started sinking. Right. Everybody knew. Oh, you hit the iceberg. Oh, there's a damage in the hull. The ship is taking on water. This ship is going to go down because there's no way we can stop all that water from coming through. So that ship is about to sink. And you know what happens? It's a slow process. But that ship is sinking, but it's a slow process. But the ship is sinking. So guess what happens to people that don't have that pure mindset, that don't have that good conscience because they threw away the good conscience. You know what happens? They're around and then everybody can see that your ship is sinking. It's true. Everybody can see it, that the ship is sinking. Oh man, it's taking on water. Dang, it's going down. Then it just goes up. It just starts going down really slow. And you could see it. But guess what, y'all? We all go through that sometimes. We all go through that sometimes. Where your ship starts to sink. But if you don't consider and get your mind right and start thinking back on pure things, then yeah, your ship will sink. You will sink. You'll just keep going down. Next thing you know, you're covered in water. And the next thing you know, you're at the bottom of the ocean somewhere where some billionaire or a couple billionaires wants to come and see your ship. And the next thing you know, they're dead. Because who the hell wants to go and see a ship that's underneath the water? God. That's covered in darkness. Who does that?
2 miles.
I'll tell you. Who does that?
2 miles.
Yeah, 2 miles under. Who does that? I'll tell you who does that. The people that came from Mount Seir. Because the people that didn't come from Mount Seir, you know what we want to do? We want to chill in our tents. Not chill 2 feet underwater. Let's go back. Let's go back. Bro, tripping. Bro, just you know what would make me like not do it? What would make me like not go underneath the ocean to go look at the Titanic? Especially if I'm a billionaire, you got better things to do. Like, you don't know how to spend your money, homie. You're a billionaire and that's how you want to spend your money? And you took your son?
Who didn't want to go?
He ain't even want to go. Now he's dead. Oh, bruh. Both sides hilarious. Hey, yeah. Both sides hilarious, bro. Y'all know how they, not to go off topic, but you know how they died under that pressure, if they did die, because there's some conspiracy theories around that. But y'all know how they died? You know what it's like? You know what happens to your body under that? You ever had something in the microwave that was heating up and it just explodes? That's how they died. The pressure just made their body, like things in the microwave, they explode because of the pressure. That's how they died. Imagine you know you're going to die like that. You taking on water, that's why they was tapping. Crap, bro, we going to explode any minute. And then you explode like a firework. That's how they died.
Video.
You got a video?
How you blow up.
Splat. Both sides hilarious. Let's go back.
Deuteronomy chapter 2, it's going to be verse 5 from the top.
Mm-hmm.
It says, meddle not with them,
Mm-hmm.
for I will not give you of their land.
Yeah, don't meddle with them because they'll change your mentality, your mind, which they have.
Because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession.
Like, you want to say?
Ye shall buy meat of them for money, that ye may eat. And ye shall also buy water of them for money, that ye may drink.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord thy God hath blessed thee in all the works of thy hand.
Yep.
He knoweth thy walking through his great wilderness.
You see that? So you're going to go through their land. You're going to buy meat. You're going to buy water with your money that you have. You're not going to take nothing from them. Most I didn't even want us taking anything from them for free. You see what I'm saying? Or stealing it or anything like that. The Most High was like, I'm going to take care of you. That's why back in verse 7, it says, for the Lord, your power, he blessed you in all the works. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's the one that's going to bless us. We didn't need a handout. Go ahead.
He knoweth thy walking through this great wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
These 40 years the Lord thy God hath been with thee. Thou hast lacked nothing.
You see that?
Right.
40 years through the wilderness. We ain't lacked nothing. We didn't lack anything. I'm sure we wanted some things, but we ain't lacked nothing at the end of the day. It's just like life today. I'm sure there's some things that we want, but at the end of the day, we ain't lacking nothing.
Right.
You know, belly's full. We all struggling to lose weight. I'm not gonna say we struggling to lose weight, but I'm struggling to lose weight. I've been trying to lose 40 pounds for the last, since I stepped foot in the truth. I've been trying to go back to my weight. I've been trying to go back to my weight that I was when I stepped foot in the truth. And it hasn't happened. But, you know, shall be fat and flourishing. Right?
Yeah.
But no, but seriously, we ain't like nothing. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And when we pass by from our brethren, the children of Esau,
Mm-hmm.
which dwelt in Seir, through the way of the plain from Elath, and from Ezion Geber, we turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. And the Lord said unto me, distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give thee of their land for a possession.
See that? So now we were going to be passing through Moab, and same thing. Don't bother them. The Most High ain't going to give us their land. So guess what? Don't worry about them. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Because I have given Ar unto the children of Lot for a possession.
You see that? So their land, Ar, that was their possession from Lot, the Moabites. Shalom, brother. Shalom, Howard. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
I'll be in Rochester soon, bro. Go ahead.
The Emims dwelt therein in time past, a people great and many and tall as the Anakims.
Go ahead.
Which also were accounted giants as the Anakims. But the Moabites called them Emims.
Go ahead.
The Horims also dwelt in Seir before times. But the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them, and dwelt in their stead, as Israel did unto the land of his possession, which the Lord gave unto them.
You know, it just talked about the Emims, talked about the Anakims, talked about the Horims, right? These people, unless I'm mistaken, these people ain't around today. Obviously, right? Now, I want to show y'all something. They've been wiped out. Unless I'm mistaken, they've been wiped out. Now, it's not hard to fathom or even to think about how Esau is going to be wiped out in 1,000 years after Christ destroys this place. like the prophecy says. It's not hard to fathom that. Like that's something like the Most High ain't did that before. You know what I'm saying? Like the Most High ain't just like wiped the whole nation out before. Remember, we were supposed to wipe out the Amalekites. Everybody. Remember, we were supposed to wipe out the Canaanites. Everybody. We gonna act like the Most High and wipe the whole earth out before and only save Noah? So it's not a far-fetched thing to think that the Most High is gonna wipe out Esau. Can you give me one reason why he wouldn't? Can you give me one reason why he wouldn't? They're wicked as hell. That's just what the Most High does to wicked nations. He wipes them out. You see that? So, go ahead.
Verse 13. Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 13. Now rise up, said I, and get you over the brook Zered. And we went over the brook Zered. And the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we were come over the brook Zered was 38 years, until all the generation of the men of war were wasted out from among the hosts, as the Lord sware unto them. For indeed the land of the Lord, for indeed the hand of the Lord was against them, to destroy them from among the host, until they were consumed. So it came to pass, when all the men of war were consumed and dead from among the people.
You see that? All the men of war was consumed and dead.
Verse 17.
It's not a common thing. It's not an uncommon thing. You see that? Go ahead.
Verse 17. And the Lord spake unto me, saying, Thou art to pass over through Ar, the coast of Moab, this day. And when thou camest nigh over against the children of Ammon, distress them not, nor meddle with them. For I will not give thee of the land of the children of Ammon any possession, because I have given it unto the children of Lot for a possession.
Go ahead.
That also was accounted a land of giants. Giants dwelt therein in old times. And the Ammonites called them Zam-Zimmims.
Go ahead.
A great people, and many, and tall, as the Anakims.
So now you get to see another sect of giants. Zam-Zimmims. See that? Also gone. Go ahead.
But the Lord destroyed them before them, and they succeeded them, and dwelt in their stead.
You see that? Most High does that, man. You'll get wiped out. Whole nations will get wiped out. It's not an uncommon thing. Go ahead. Yeah.
As he did to the children of Esau, which dwelt in Seir, when he destroyed the Horims from before them, and they succeeded them, and dwelt in their stead even unto this day. And the Avims, which dwelt in Hazarim, even unto Azah, the Caphartims, which came forth out of Caphtor, destroyed them, and dwelt in their stead. Rise ye up, take your journey, and pass over the river Arnon. Behold, I have given into thine hand Sihon, the king Amorite, Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to possess it, and contend with him in battle.
Man, there was a scripture I was looking for. There was a scripture I was looking for where it talked about it talked about how, like, the Most High, he gave us, one of the reasons he gave us the land of Canaan, one of the reasons he removed them out of the land, it wasn't for us. It was literally just because they were wicked. If somebody can find that, let's get this reader out. Yeah, it's you. Elijah, Shabbat Tashal, Yashakar, Ban Yasha'ala. Men av Israel, Amadi. Ra.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Rakam.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Rakta.
You gotta go to verse 25. I mean, you're gonna start at verse 25.
Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
This day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent messengers out of the wilderness of Kedemoth unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, with words of peace, saying, Let me pass through thy land. I will go along by the highway. I will neither turn unto the right hand nor to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt sell me meat for money, that I may eat, and give me water for money that I may drink.
Go ahead.
Only I will pass through on my feet. As the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and the Seir, and the Moabites, which dwell in Ar, did unto me, until I shall pass over Jordan into the land which the Lord our God giveth us.
Go ahead.
But Sihon, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass by him.
See that? So Sihon didn't want us to pass through the land. He wasn't being smart. Let's think about it. Think about all the people that would have had to eat. I mean, if you just want to look at it from a money standpoint, think of all the people that was coming through that would want to eat, and that would want water that your people could have sold and got some money from. You see what I'm saying? But then think about the blessing. Don't the scripture say when you give a prophet a cup of water, you get a prophet's reward? As you can see, that's why some of these cats, they die. Because when it was in when you have an opportunity to do good, you don't take advantage of it. You see what I'm saying? But check this out. Read on.
For the Lord thy God hardened his spirit and made his heart obstinate, that he might deliver him into thy hand, as appeareth this day. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have begun to get Sihon and his land before thee, begin to possess, that thou mayest...
Oh, stop. Go, yeah, that's it. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 9 and verse 4. Perfect. You know, it's funny. I thought it was in Deuteronomy. Yep, that is it. Deuteronomy
chapter 9, verse 4.
Yeah, so this is the scripture I wanted. And this right here is going to show why a lot of the times these nations, they die out, while the Most High takes them out. So go to Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 4.
Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 4.
Very good one.
Speak not thou in thine hearts. After that, the Lord thy God has cast them out from before thee, saying, For my righteousness, the Lord had brought me in to possess this land. But for the wickedness of these nations.
But for the what?
For the wickedness of these nations.
Go ahead.
The Lord doth drive them out from before thee.
You see that? So this was talking. The Most High wasn't getting rid of people because we were like this righteous people. Don't forget, it's talking about the times of the wilderness. What were we doing in the wilderness? We were complaining. We were complaining and murmuring. And a lot of us was dying. The whole generation died because of it. So it wasn't like we did anything special or because we were righteous why the Most High drove these people out. But it said it was because of the wickedness of these nations. They were wicked as hell. And all the Most High did was use us to drive them out. because they were wicked. It's no different than how the Most High used Esau as a belt to give us a whooping. You see what I'm saying? God. So guess what, y'all? When the Most High has Esau dropping bombs on people, Most High is just using Esau. I mean, he's wicked, but he's just using the wicked to destroy the wicked.
Wicked on our sword.
You see what I'm saying?
Psalm 17.
Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, read it real quick.
This is Psalms chapter 17, verse 13.
Psalms, the book of Psalms 17 and 13. Go ahead.
Yes. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him. Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword.
You see that? The wicked is the Most High's sword. So the Most High uses Esau. Listen, man, the Most High is using Putin right now. Most High is using Putin. Putin over there doing this. Missiles. Like Putin wake up and just launching missiles. So, anyways, the scripture says the wicked is his sword, right? So, because of their wickedness, the Most High drives people out the land. Now read verse 5. Check this out. Back in Deuteronomy 9 and 5. Who got it? Deuteronomy 9 and 5.
Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Not for thy righteousness, or for the uprightness of thine heart, dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations.
Go ahead.
The Most High thy power doth drive them out from before thee, and that he may perform the word which the Most High swore unto thy fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
You see that? So it ain't nothing we did because we ain't righteous. We fighting just to be pure. You see that? But because of the wickedness of these nations, that's why the Most High drives them out. Now go to Revelations 18 and 5. So that was back then, and guess what? It's for today too. So let's go to Revelations chapter 18 and verse 5. Go ahead.
Revelations chapter 18 and verse 5.
Start at verse 4.
Verse 4.
Well, the point is in verse 5, but we're going to start at verse 4. Go ahead.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
So let's talk about right now. Come out of the mentality of America. There's no point, listen, y'all, ain't no point in packing up and leaving America. It don't matter. At this point, everywhere is America. Everywhere it is. Because the influence is everywhere. Y'all see what I'm saying? People think the same way all everywhere, like how they think here. It may not be exactly the same, but that wicked mentality, that wicked mindset is everywhere. So it don't matter. In Jeremiah 51, it says that Babylon was a golden cup that made the whole nations drunk. Hold where you're at. Jeremiah 51.
Jeremiah chapter 51.
Verse 6.
Verse 6.
Go ahead.
51 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul.
Go ahead.
Be not cut off in her iniquity.
Go ahead.
For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance.
Pretty much saying the same thing that Revelations 18 and 4 is saying. Flee out of the midst. Don't get caught up. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
He will render unto her a recompense.
Go ahead.
Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand.
Go ahead.
That made all the earth drunken.
Go ahead.
The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad.
You see that? See, the scriptures uses the term mad as out of their minds, insane, crazy. So because the whole world, the whole earth is drinking the influence that comes from this place, from America, the whole earth is crazy. The whole earth is out of its mind. You see what I'm saying? So it don't matter where you go. It don't matter where you go. That's how you know the scripture isn't talking about actually physically getting up and leaving, because it don't matter where you go. You see what I'm saying? It don't matter. It's talking about that mindset, that mentality. Come out of the mindset, because guess what? What's the point of you getting up and leaving America, but you still have Say we all got up and left America.
Right.
But we're all still battling, taking off the American mindset. And we never did it. But we all got up and left America. What are we going to do? We're going to bring America right with us. We're going to bring America right with us into wherever it is that we go. The influence, the way of life, the way of thinking. We'll bring it right with us. What's up?
No, I was sitting there meditating in the morning, and I was sitting there thinking, if this book is considered sanity, that means everything outside of it is actually insane.
No, you're right. Everything outside of the Bible is insanity. That's very true. Just think about it. Let's just think about it. Let's go with like the most. Let's go with the two biggest populations on the earth: Chinese and Indians. India is about to overtake China, but there's more Chinese people on the earth, and Indians are like right there neck and neck with them. They're the two biggest populations, right? Chinese people worship Buddha and dragons. You see what I'm saying? You got to be insane to worship a statue. But then you got Indians that worship cows and worship Shiva and elephants, and they're insane. I saw a video of this Jamaican dude. He was recording the Chinese people like preparing a dog to eat, and he was like, "This is what they're doing here." Of course, he had the accent, an accent that I can use, but I'm not going to. My accent's rusty. But he was like, "This is what they're doing here. Look at him. He's prepping a dog." And these two Asian dudes, it was like prepping the dog, and they look like, "Yeah, we gonna eat it too." They prepping the dog to go eat it. Dang. It was like, this is what they're doing in Jamaica. They eating dogs in Jamaica. But wow, you're insane. You're insane if you don't follow the Bible. You see what I'm saying? Back to Revelations 18 and 5. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 5.
Go ahead.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities.
You see that? So America's sin has reached unto heaven, and the Most High will remember the iniquity, and that's why the Most High will rain down judgment on this place. So that's why these places, that's why these nations be getting destroyed. It's simply because they're wicked. It's simply because they're wicked. The Most High didn't create the nations to destroy them. Y'all know that, right? He created them to actually learn from us. He created them so that we could teach them, so that we could deal with them. That's why in Isaiah 2, we were touching on it. It says that all nations is going to flow to Jerusalem to hear the law. So that means that all nations was going to be going to us to hear the law. Well, the law is life. So he didn't create them to die. He actually created them to live. But we were supposed to teach them and show them how to live. You know how the Levites was amongst us? Right. And the Levites was like the priest amongst the 12 tribes? Right. Well, you got to picture the whole 12 tribes of Israel being the Levites, being the priests amongst the whole world. That's like how the Most High created it. You see what I'm saying? He didn't create them to die. They just chose death, just like we chose death. You see what I'm saying? So, because they chose death so much, they had to be destroyed, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, wiped out. Right. This place is going to get wiped out because of the death that it chose. Go to 2 Maccabees, chapter 6. Read verse 13.
2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 13.
Go ahead.
For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished.
Go ahead.
For not as with other nations.
You see that? Not as with other nations. See, when we mess up, the Most High punishes us really quick. But with these other nations, what does he do? Go ahead.
Whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they become to the fullness of their sins. So dealeth he with us. Let that, being come to the height of sin, afterward he should take vengeance of us.
See that? So he lets them come to the height of their sins. He don't let us come to our height. He lets them come to their height. He lets their sins reach onto heaven. Because the Most High, man, the Most High, listen, y'all. Sisters, if you have a husband and he's dramatic, or brothers, if you have a wife and she's dramatic, it's not necessarily a bad thing because the Most High can be dramatic. Most High likes a show. Most High likes a show. You know what I'm saying? He'll whip us a little bit. But come on, man. The Most High wants to see a show. So he's like, look, I'm going to let you get to your height because I want to see a show. I want to do something dramatic. Think about a movie. Don't you like a good movie that got a very good climax? When you watching a sport, a basketball game or a football game or even boxing like we're about to watch tonight, don't you want to see like the dramatic knockout in boxing? Everybody know about Mike Tyson. Why? He'll knock you out. Yeah, Tyson punch out. You want to see something dramatic. Most I want to see something dramatic. So he uses them for something dramatic. So he lets their sins build up, and then he does something dramatic. I'm going to flood this earth. I'm going to turn Lot's wife into a pillar of salt. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to rain down some sulfur and burn this land up. In Egypt, I'm going to hit y'all with 10 plagues. And on the last one, I'm going to kill your sons. I could have killed your sons first, but I'd rather kill them last. I'd rather hit you with 9 other plagues and then kill your sons. It's a better show. It's a better show. And then after all that, and I kill your sons, I'm gonna kill you too. But I'm gonna kill your sons first. Like, dude, like it's the Most High. Am I wrong? Is not that what happened? After I kill your sons, I'm gonna bring you to this Red Sea and I'm gonna drown you. That's what I'm gonna do. The Most High. It's dramatic. Go to Jeremiah 46 and verse 27. You're going to read 27 to 28. Abadiah, you had your hand up.
Just to that point, even though he is so dramatic, that is his passion for us as well. Like,
yeah.
He's showing us how much he truly loves us because he's doing that to our oppressors. But at the same time, we got to understand we can't be like that or that's going to happen to us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Very true. I'm going to have you on these slave ships for 6 months before you even leave. Hey. Yeah, man, the Most High don't play. He allowed like everything negative that happened to us. Everything that happened to us, he allowed it. Let's keep it real. How did the Most High destroy Rome? Y'all know? How they say Rome wasn't built in a day. You know how the Most High destroyed Rome? Y'all know? Huh? He did kind of destroy them in a day. But it was just like here. It was like this process. Y'all know how he destroyed Rome? See, Esau don't ever talk about how Rome was destroyed. A volcano erupted. Did y'all know that? So first, Rome was like their economy. Rome was just like here. It was failing. A lot of different things was failing around Rome. Their economy was crashing. A lot of things was happening. And then Most High let that volcano erupt too. I forgot which volcano it was, but the one in Pompeii. Yeah, he let that erupt. Yeah, you gonna die from some slow moving magma. Lava.
It was like a dust. They covered them. They got frozen. Like as soon as it touched them, they got
like burnt up.
Done, like stuck.
Done. It was a slow death, y'all. Very slow.
Some of them was fast. Some of them was slow. Yeah. What? Somebody else had their hand up? All right,
Jeremiah, chapter 46, verse 27.
Check this out. Jeremiah 46, 27. Go ahead.
But fear not thou, O my servant Jacob, and be not dismayed, O Israel.
Go ahead.
For behold, I will save thee from afar off, that thy seed from the land of their captivity.
From the land of where?
Of their captivity.
Okay, go ahead.
And Jacob shall return and be in rest and at ease.
Oh, wow. Okay, Jacob shall return and be in rest and at ease, huh? Well, them people living in Israel sure ain't at rest and at ease. Wah, wah, wah. They sure are in Israel and not at rest and at ease. WhatsApp sent a video where they had to they poured cement down these people's water so they can't get water. Yeah, because the people in Palestine be coming at them. They're not at ease. Iran is just itching to blow the whole place up. They're not at ease. See, another tidbit to show you who's there. But go ahead.
And none shall make him afraid.
You see that? None shall make him afraid. But they scared of the Iranians. They be over there. That's Israel. Allah Akbar. That's Israel. They really say that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Fear thou not, O Jacob, my servant, saith the Lord, for I am with thee. For I will make a full end of all the nations whither I have driven thee.
See that?
But I will not make, forgive me.
Go ahead.
But I will not make a full end of thee.
You see that? The Most High said he's going to make a full end of these nations. Full end. A full end. Total destruction. Ain't no coming back. Has Egypt ever came back? We don't even know if they're still in their land. Egypt ain't never come back. They ain't never came back. I mean, they there, but they ain't never, they weren't who they once was. What's up?
They're not like the new day Egyptians are like, they're Edomites. But they claim that they're Egyptians.
Yeah,
they know that Egyptians are dark.
They're like Arabs. A lot of Arabs, a lot of Edomites over there.
Ottoman Turks.
Ottoman Turks. You see that? Most High made a full end. Just like we were reading back in the read, man, he made a full end to a lot of these giants. A lot of these different nations. So he made a full end to the giants that was in Mount Seir. Then Esau came and took over. He made a full end to the giants that was in Moab's land. And then Moab came and took over. But guess what we didn't do, Israel? We were supposed to make a full end to the Canaanites, and we didn't. We didn't. You see that? But Moab and Esau did. You see that?
As a matter of fact,
but,
they're all white because
what's up?
They all white because the Turkish people are people.
They're Edomites, yep. You know what's funny? Even about us? If it wasn't for the Most High, they would have made a full end onto us. Y'all know that. They would definitely have made a full end onto us. Uh-huh. All right, let's go back.
Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 31. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have begun to give Sihon and his land before thee.
Read verse 30.
Verse 30.
Uh-huh.
But Sihon, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass by him, for the Lord thy God hardened his spirit.
You see that? Just like how it said the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. But did the Lord really harden his heart, or did he harden his own heart? He hardened his own heart. Just like Pharaoh hardened his own heart. And you know, all the Most High did was just give you over. The scripture says that. The grace and the mercy runs out, and the Most High just gives you over to your own mind. That's what the scripture says. So really and truly, you start to harden your own heart, and then eventually what happens is the Most High gets tired of showing you all these signs and giving you all this opportunity, and he just gives you over to your own reprobate mind. Somebody find a scripture that says, give me not over to a reprobate mind. It's in Ecclesiastes, I think. Give me not over to the lust of the belly. No, give something like that. It's Ecclesiastes. Let not the lust of the belly take hold of me and give me not over to a reprobate mind. Something like that. Just to understand when it says that the Most High hardened his mind. One second, I'm sorry. It's not reprobate mind, it's impudent. Go to Ecclesiastes 23 and 6. Ecclesiastes 23 and 6. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 23, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Let not the greediness of the belly nor lust of the flesh take hold of me.
So, you see how it says, let not the greediness of the belly nor lust of the flesh take hold of me. That's like saying the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. When you're hungry, you're like, man, I gotta feed my flesh. So when it says, let not the greediness of the belly nor lust of the flesh take hold of me, it's pretty much saying the same thing. So you don't want to have the lust of the flesh take over you. You see what I'm saying? Now, when the lust of the flesh takes over you, you fall into your pride, you fall into your mind, your emotions, your senses, you fall into all that. You see what I'm saying? So when that happens, this happens too. Go ahead.
And get not over me, thy servant, into an imputed mind.
When the lust of the flesh and the greediness of the or the greediness of the belly takes hold of you, your mind becomes impudent. You see what I'm saying? Your mind becomes impudent. Now, somebody look up the definition of impudent. What you got for impudent?
Shameless.
You see that? Shameless. Go ahead.
Wanting modesty.
No modesty. Go ahead.
Bold.
Go ahead.
With contempt of others.
You see that? So, that's impudent, right? You become bold. You become prideful. You become all that. It says disrespect. You become disrespectful. You become rude. You become impolite. You become cocky. You become shameless, forward, brazen. You become all these different things, right? Presumptuous, all these different things. So the Most High just gives you over to that. It was in you, gives you over to it. You see what I'm saying? It's like what I think it says it too in Romans, that the Most High, yeah, go to Romans. They did not like to retain God in their memory.
Chapter 1.
Mm-hmm. 1:28. Romans 1:28.
Romans chapter 1, verse 28.
Go ahead.
Even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind.
You see that? The Most High just gives you over to what you wanted anyways. That's all the Most High does. The Most High gives you what you want. What you ask for. That's all he does. You don't do nothing. You don't do nothing crazy. That's what you wanted. So when it said that, like Pharaoh, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. Well, all he did was, this is what Pharaoh wanted anyways. This is how he was. So the Most High just gave him over to it. He gave him over onto his pride. He gave him over onto his stubbornness. Think about it. It's like you telling your child consistently, stop doing this, stop doing that. But they keep doing it. Eventually, you're like, okay, you just got to feel it. You see what I'm saying? I'm no longer going to be the shield. You're just going to have to feel it. You see that? Now, go to let's go back. I don't think this goes with it. Let's go back.
Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 30.
So, in this Deuteronomy 2 and verse 30, right? It said that the Most High hardened his spirit. Go ahead.
For the Lord thy God hardened his spirit and made his heart obstinate.
Go ahead.
That he might deliver him into thy hand as appeared this day.
So the Most High did that because he was going to take him out. His sins reached onto heaven. It was time for him to go. So the Most High did that so that he can deliver him into our hands, right? One more scripture on this point. Go to 2 Ezra 4 and 43. 2 Ezra 4 and verse 43.
2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 43.
Go ahead.
From the beginning, look, what thou desirest to see, it shall be showed thee.
See that? Read again.
2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 43. From the beginning, look, what thou desirest to see, it shall be showed thee.
You see that? Look what you desire to see, it shall be showed to you. So guess what? Pharaoh, this guy, Sihon, bro, they wanted to be wicked. They wanted to be prideful. They wanted to have the obstinate heart. They wanted their spirit hardened against the Most High. That's what they wanted. So guess what? When your mind is, when you rolling in a reprobate mind, and that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. You see what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. The Most High just give you what you want. So you see how it says, look from the beginning. Look what thou desires to see, it shall be showed to thee. Whatever it is, what is your eyes symbolic for? Not just your soul. What is your eyes symbolic for? When it says the light of the body is the eye, what is that talking about? Not your mind, your focus. So whatever it is that you're focused on, whatever it is that your mind is on, that whatever it is that you're preoccupied on, that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. So these men, they were so wicked, they were so reprobate, they were so impudent, obstinate, stubborn, all that. So that's what they get. That's why if you're pure, you'll get pure things. But if you're wicked, if you're defiled, and everything is negative, and everything is complaining, everything is murmuring, then that's what you're going to get. Y'all see what I'm saying? So did the Lord really harden his heart? Nah, the Lord was just like, the grace and the mercy is gone. You do what you want, homie. You see that? Read verse 31.
Verse 31. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have begun to get Sihon and his land before thee, began to possess that thou mayest inherit his land. Then Sihon came out against us, he and all his people, to fight at Jahaz, and the Lord our God delivered him before us, and we smote him and his sons and all his people.
Nope, done.
Wow.
You know the man, what game was that? It was Mario. You know that Mario song? And you know when he dies? That's what happened. That's what happened to him and all his people and his sons. They died. Go ahead.
Verse 34. And we took all his cities at that time, and utterly destroyed the man and the woman and the little ones of every city. We left none to remain.
We left none to what?
To remain.
You got no more lives. You're done. Game over. Go ahead.
Only the cattle we took for a prey unto ourselves, and the spoil of the cities which we took.
Why not? Go ahead.
From Aurora, which is by the brink of the river of Arnon, and from the city that is by the river, even unto Gibeon, there was not one city too strong for us. The Lord our God delivered all unto us. Only unto the land of the children of Ammon thou camest not, nor unto any place of the river Jabbok, nor unto the cities in the mountains, nor unto whatsoever the Lord our God forbade us.
So if the Most High forbade us from going to this place, then that's what we did. And Ammon and Moab, they came from Lot. So that's one of the reasons why they didn't get destroyed. Esau, of course, was our brother. That's why they didn't get destroyed. But everybody else that was around, and you were wicked, there was going to be some problems. That's why back in verse 25 it says, "This day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear the report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee." Because when they saw it coming, they know that it's going to be some problems. They know that their life is never going to be the same. Because it's either they're going to bend and bow to us, or it's going to be some problems. You see what I'm saying? Verse chapter 3. Any questions on chapter 2? What's up?
On the 30,
Mm-hmm.
it says it's hard, opposite. Do those people ever revert back, or do they know if they're in that?
Say it again. I couldn't hear you that good.
When in verse 30, it says they gave his heart obstinate, and then stubborn heart. People know that they're not.
That they're stubborn?
Yeah, you know how sometimes people have no clue that that's where they are. So that.
Let's go to 2 Corinthians 13:5. Check this out.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5.
This is going to answer it perfectly. Go ahead.
Examine yourself, whether ye be in the faith.
Mm-hmm.
Prove your own selves.
So you know how like you'll examine yourself? You know how like we're supposed to examine ourselves to see what it is that to see how our minds is, right? It says to prove your own self. Go ahead.
Know ye not your own selves.
We're all supposed to be able to know ourselves. We're supposed to be able to know when we're in the spirit or we're out of the spirit, right? Go ahead.
How that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates.
You see that? If you're a reprobate, you're just not going to know. You're going to think that you're right. So if you're a reprobate, you're going to be rolling with a stubborn, obstinate mind, and you're just going to think that you're right. You see what I'm saying? But this is the thing. If that's if Christ ain't in you, but if Christ is in you, then you're going to know. You're going to know, like, man, that's why it says a righteous or a wise man is going to fall 7 times. Because if Christ is in us, we may fall, we may not know, but somebody will let us know. This is why you fell. This is why. Then eventually you'll start to pick it up. Like, dang, I was messing up. I got to stop. You may not show it, but in your mind, you'll know. You see what I'm saying? You'll know I got to make some changes. Right. But a person who's like, mind is just like straight obstinate, they just feel like they're right. They feel like they're right. Like, it's like, I'll use a transvestite. I'll use a homosexual. Like, they literally think they're right. They literally think they're right. They think that there's something wrong with you, and it's not something wrong with us. So that mind is completely obstinate. You can't really tell them anything. You can't really show them anything. There isn't really anything you can do. You see what I'm saying? Some people that ain't even like homosexuals. Some people that live the life that they live, that choose to just live a wicked life. They just think that they live in their life. You can't tell them nothing. It's a sin. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, to answer your question, like a person that has an obstinate heart, if they don't have the Most High on their side, then they don't even know. That's why Christ said, forgive them, Lord, because they don't forgive them, Father, because they know not what they do. You know, I know I went to the extreme of like a homosexual and stuff like that, but you could just look at people in church. They think that they're right. You see what I'm saying? They literally think that they're right. So it's like that mind is obstinate. You could show them, oh, that was the Old Testament. Show them in the New Testament. Oh, but that don't mean that. Show them another one. Yeah, but that's your interpretation. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't even consider that they're being stubborn. Everybody can come and tell them. Everybody can come and show them. They're not going to care. So they don't even realize it, but the scripture says, know ye not your own selves how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates. There's a lot more reprobates than people realize. There's a lot. All right. So, Abadiah, you had your hand up. Medea had her hand up. Abadiah? Okay. Okay.
Also firmly fixed in their resolution of what they're going to do. So
that's very good. I'm glad you went there.
Yeah, because so even if they knew the Most High was going to do what He was going to do, He was going to warn them, they were firmly fixed in their mind that they were going to continue being the way they were, and their outcome doesn't matter. That's
they're firmly fixed. So an obstinate mind, that's a great definition. They're firmly fixed. Ain't gonna move. And you know what the Most High does with mind people like that actually? He destroys them. He destroys them because the Most High wants us to get rid of our stony hearts, our stony minds, and adapt the fleshly mind. He said get rid of the stony mind because it was a representation of us being hard-headed and stubborn and not moldable. But if you get a fleshly mind, then you can be molded. You can change. But then, is it on her point?
Yes, it's on her point.
What's up?
And she said it was actually in Romans chapter 1, verse 32. It says, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
You see that? Yeah. Some people ain't gonna change just because they like it. They like it. You know what I'm saying? Some people just simply won't. They're not gonna change because they like wickedness. They would rather be wicked than be righteous. They would like to live in the flesh than to live in the spirit. They like it. What's up?
Like an example of that, you said like being gay was an extreme, but I had to get counsel with Joshua Carr because I work with a lesbian Benjamin, and she like wants scripture, and she'll ask me for scriptures, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I want that scripture to my relationship," but she's gay, and I was like, "I don't understand you." She's like, "Well, you know, being gay is the same as lying or just being disobedient to your parents or anything." It's still a sin, so it's not like greater or smaller, and that's gonna be, in her mind because she's like, "Oh, I'm doing scriptures," but ignoring that big thing right there that she's with a woman. So
yep, that's actually pretty common too. I know a couple people that like believe in the Most High, that are like pray over their food and everything. But then you're lesbian. Okay. You go to church every Sunday too. But you're married you're a woman married to a woman. I know a couple of people like that.
It was very baffling to me. She's like, "Yeah, I'm real receptive to the Bible and I love God and I pray to God all the time when I'm in a relationship issue."
You should show her Romans.
God help me. And I'm like,
you should be like, "Man, you know what book you should read? You should read Romans."
God,
you should tell her that.
She's like, "You go to class?" I was like, "Yeah, I go to class like, or a week," and everything. She's like, "You know what? I'm gonna show up in class."
Hope you don't.
Interesting.
God, we gonna show her Romans. But let's get back.
Deuteronomy chapter 3 and verse 1. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan, and all the king of Bashan came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And the Lord said unto me, Fear him not, for I will deliver him and all his people and his land into thy hand. And thou shalt do unto him as thou didst unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, which dwelt in Heshbon. So the Lord our God delivered into our hands also the king of Bashan and all his people, and we smote him until none was left to him remaining. And we took all his cities, and that time there was not a city which we took not from them. 60 cities,
or 60 cities.
All the region of Argob, the kingdom of Og and Bashan. All these cities were fenced with high walls, gates, and barriers,
and bars.
Beside unwalled towns, a great many.
So this was a very strong city, a very good city. The Most High had to bring them down. Go ahead.
And we utterly destroyed them, and we did unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, utterly destroying the men, women, and children of every city. But all the cattle and the spoil of the cities we took for a prey to ourselves. And we took at that time out of the hand of the 2 kings of the Ammonites the land that was on this side Jordan, from the river of Arnon unto Mount Hermon, which Hermon the Sidonians called Sirion, and the Amorites called it Shinar. All the cities of the plain, and all Gideon, and all Bashan, unto Salah, and Adre, cities of the kingdom of Gog and Bashan. For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of Norm. Is it not in Rabbah of the children of Ammon? 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, after the cubit of a man.
Oh, where are you at?
What verse is that?
11.
Verse what?
11.
Oh, this is where it was talking about his bed. 9 cubits was the length of it, was the length thereof, and 4 cubits was the breadth of it. So, of course, this is Mesopotamia cubit, so it's like 2 feet. A cubit is 2 feet with an ancient cubit, right? So when it says his bed was 9 cubits, his bed was about 18 feet long. And then when it says it's 4 cubits, the breadth of it, meaning that it was 8 feet wide. 8 feet wide.
God, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is 16 feet right here. So just add 2 more feet. That's how long his bed was. Yeah. And then
That's right.
so,
It's 8 feet long. I mean wide.
yeah, 8 feet wide.
How long?
And what was it? 18 feet
18 feet long.
and 4 cubits, so 8 feet wide.
8 feet wide.
It's about
8 feet right here.
so his bed was like this was like his bed right here. Like when he laid on. It's 2 feet longer. So, gotcha. It's a big guy. All right, let's get the next reader. It's you. Atazar, Shabbat Shalom, Yashakar, Yashala, Rebezer, Amanya, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Shai Baruch
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat.
What's that?
Same shirt, brown shoes. I got my white pants.
Yes, I got the memo.
Yeah, I gotta buy some new white pants.
Experiences.
Just kidding.
Yes.
Deuteronomy 3:12.
Deuteronomy chapter 3 verse 12. And this land which we possess at that time from a river which is by the river Arnon, and have Mount Gilead, and the cities thereof gave I unto the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and the rest of Gilead, and all Bashan, being the kingdom of Og, gave I unto the half tribe of Manasseh. all the region of Argob with all Bashan, which was called the land of giants.
So, so these two nations that we wiped out. But what was it? Bashan, and then the other one was Sihon, king of Heshbon. So you had Heshbon, you have Bashan. Those two cities that we wiped out. That's what went to Reuben, and that's what went to Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh. That's pretty much what it's saying. So this is where we started pushing people out the land. This is where pretty much it started. So then after Deuteronomy, you're going to read in Joshua, and then you're going to see us pushing out, starting to push out the Canaanites. And then in Judges, that'll be after Joshua dies, of course, and it starts to talk about the judges. So go ahead.
Verse 14. Jair, the son of Manasseh, took all the country of Argob unto the coast of Geshur, and Ma'ahathai, and called them after his own name, Bashan Havath Jair, unto this day. And I gave Gilead unto Mashur, and unto the Reubenites, and unto the Gadites I gave from Gilead even unto the river Arnon, past the valley, and the border even unto the river Jabbok, which is the border of the children of Ammon, the plain also, and Jordan, and the coast thereof, from Kinnereth even unto the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, under Ashdod, Pisgah, eastward. And I commanded you at that time, saying, the Lord your God has given you this land to possess it. Ye shall pass over armed before your brethren, the children of Israel, and all that are meet for the war. But your wives, and your little ones, and your cattle, for I know that ye have much cattle, shall abide in your cities which I have given you, until the Lord has given rest unto your brethren as well as unto you, and unto they also possess the land which the Lord your God has given them beyond Jordan. And then shall ye return every man unto his possession, which I have given you. And I commanded Joshua at that time, saying, thy eyes have seen all that the Lord your God has done unto these two kings. So shall the Lord do unto all the kingdom whither thou passest. Ye shall not fear them, for the Lord your God, he shall fight for you.
See that? The Lord fights for you. No reason to fear. Go ahead.
And I besought the Lord at that time, saying, O Lord God, thou hast begun to shew thy servant thy greatness and thy mighty hand. For what God is there in heaven or in earth that can do according to thy word and according to thy might?
So, you know in this verse 24, when he says this, you got to think about it. He says this after seeing the Most High go and destroy. Of course, the Most High destroyed these nations through us, but Moses is seeing these nations fall and these great nations, their cities, their people, they look very strong. And then we going in, and they are very strong too. And we going in and just knocking them out and wiping them out. Moses had to be like, man, like who's like this power that we have? Because there's no way that us would be able to take them out if the Lord wasn't on our side. So, Moses is just giving that reverence in verse 24. Like, what power is there like you in heaven or in earth? There's nothing like you. Not only you said you was going to do it, and you did it. So Moses is just giving that reverence in verse 24. Go ahead.
Verse 25. I pray thee, let me go over and see the good land that is beyond Jordan, that goodly mountain at Lebanon. But the Lord was wroth with me for your sake, and would not hear me. And the Lord said unto me, let it
suffice
thee. Speak no more unto me of this matter.
Hey, you see how the Most High, y'all understand that? It says, let me go over and see the good land that is beyond Jordan and the good mountain in Lebanon. But the Most High was pissed and would not hear me. The Lord said unto me, let it suffice thee. Speak no more unto me of this matter. Like, bro, I should kill you right now, but I'm not. So the fact that I'm going to let you just get on top of this mountain and see it and then die, let that be enough for you. Y'all see that? Let that be enough for you. Don't even ask me about this again. You see that? Let it suffice thee. Speak no more unto me of this matter. Don't even come to me with this again. That's like Paul saying he asked the Lord thrice to remove the thorn. And let's go there real quick. Go to is that Corinthians? Go to Corinthians.
And you know what's good about it too? Remember, this is Moses. This is Moses giving a recap of the history of why they had to walk through the wilderness for 40 years. So he's recapping to the children that survived, the 20-year-old.
Yeah.
But what is he showing them right here? He's showing them that there's nobody above reproach. He's literally showing them how he got checked by the Most High. And if they wondered, well, how come you didn't make it in? Well, this is why. Because I made a mistake. I didn't glorify the Most High the way I should have. And the Most High is not trying to hear the complaining, the excuses. But he's also showing that what? I got to deal with, I'm dealing with my punishment. Right? I'm not going to try to excuse myself and put the blame on y'all for the situation that I've caused.
Yeah.
Remember, he's talking to people here. This ain't Moses having a conversation with Moses. Right. Mm-hmm. He's recapping to all the nation. So he's telling them and showing them how even the Most High dealt with him. What is it to do? To put them in the mind that what? If I could do this to Moses and he did all this works, what's going to happen to you? Isn't it justified when you're not doing as much works in the Most High check? You really got a leg to stand on to complain? Nah. But also to take accountability. Moses was showing them an example of accountability here, where when you do something, man, you got to stand up to what you did. You got to take that. You got to eat that. Yeah. Read where you at.
2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee.
Yeah. See that? Even with Moses, he could have died on the spot 40 years prior. Yeah. Or not 40 years, but a few years prior. He could have been wiped out when he hit that rock. That second time, he should have been wiped out. Just like Aaron should have been wiped out when he built that calf. Just like Aaron's sons got wiped out when they burnt the strange incense. Just like Korah and Dathan got swallowed by the earth when they talked, when they stood up against Moses. Just like Miriam turned into a damn Edomite on the spot when she talked against Moses. Like, Most High, he was given different levels of grace and mercy. Right? Moses could have been took out right then and there, but the Most High said, at least for the works you did, right? I'm not going to forget your labor and works and the works you did towards my name, your labor of love and the works you did towards my name. I'm going to at least let you see it from afar off so you know that I didn't lie to you. So you know, so you can say in your spirit, it was there, I was close, but what I did prevented me from getting there. See, it's not the like you don't get. You're not getting somewhere because of the Most High. It's you. And just because you can't see it, don't mean it's not there. It's you. It's promise. Yeah. Moses is the perfect example of a promised situation, right? A promised land. Abraham didn't even see it. He didn't get to see the promises to the full fruition. The people explode into this multitude of the sand of the sea. Moses was so close, but what he did prevented him. It's not the Most High trying to hold you back. You got to stop acting like, Most High got me here. No, you got you here. You got you here lazy. You got you here slothful. The Most High don't got you here slothful and not wanting to fight and not wanting to push. You got you here misunderstanding and misrepresenting. Yeah. Right? Doing the things that are not commanded and doing what you want. Moses did what was not commanded. Go talk to the rock. And he hit it. That's not what was commanded. So who made him hit the rock? Himself. So could he really complain when the Most High was like, man, go take your ass up in that mountain, die? Go look at it and then go die. Could he complain? No, my grace is sufficient for you. At least you got to saw it. At least you got to see it. At least you got to see it. And then what you got to do the whole time? Go teach Joshua not to be like you. Go teach Joshua to be faithful all the way through. Go teach Caleb how to be faithful all the way through. Right? Not that Moses wasn't a faithful man, but look at that one little mistake, that one moment, that one lax in judgment. Look at what it cost him. You see that? But if that can happen to Moses, and he literally gave his life. What do we deserve, man? And we fighting to hold on to our lives. Yeah. What do we really deserve when the Most High says, nope, you ain't going to get this. Nope, you ain't going to get that. Based off of your own action. Do you really have a complaint? Can you really form your mouth? That's why he said, don't even bring it up. Don't bring it up again. Can you really fix your mind to bring it up? Like, I'm going to pray on this. Bro, Most High ain't hearing that whack prayer.
You'll have to eat it.
Yeah, you got to eat that. He ain't trying to hear them prayers of you begging for something for something that you did. And why things ain't going the right way in your life. That's your fault. But I'm going to still give you some grace. I'm going to still give you some grace because this is the thing. Everybody in here, everybody online, everybody in the world is trying to get somewhere where someone else is already been or close to being. Right? So what does that tell you? That your goals are attainable. Somebody's already there or close to being. That means that it's not impossible. You don't have a fictitious goal. If you want to be up here, well, you see men that are up here. Right? Teaching, faithful, pushing. Right? So that means that it's not unattainable. You can do it. Yeah. So that's the grace enough to say, oh, well, you got an example. Right? If you can't see yourself doing it, you at least got examples of men that are doing it. And maybe if you just did what they did, guess what? Guess what? You'd have a different outcome. Yeah. You'd have a totally different outcome. You would have less complaints. You'd have less things to complain about and more things to joy over. I made it. I did it. I pushed myself. I completed a task. A lot of us ain't finishers up in here, man. You haven't finished it. You got a lot of unfinished business in your life. But who do you blame? Yourself or others? Read on.
For my strength is made perfect in weakness.
Yeah, see, the Most High strength is made perfect. When we get to these points, like Yahushua, when he was tempted by Satan in that wilderness, he was weak. It tells you that. But what did he rely on? The strength of the word. The strength of the Most High's words. What is said in the book, right? He didn't rely on himself and the strength that was in him. Because the scriptures even tell you that the Most High's weakness is greater than any strength of man. Even the Most High's weakness is greater than the strength of man. So what are we relying on? What did Moses rely on at that time when he let the people frustrate him? Because that's what happened. Moses is an excellent man, great role model. but he had a moment of frustration because he ain't perfect. David, he was a great man, mighty warrior, right? But he committed adultery and he committed murder, right? You had men that were great men, but they had one situation, one instance that it could have crippled their situation. Good thing about David was what? David just kept trucking along, man. He kept pushing. So did Moses, right? But what about us? What about us? Do we dwell on those moments where we make a mistake and we don't get what we want? And then you let that be the way you move towards every other situation? Or you gonna keep pushing? Keep attaining. Right? Go ahead.
Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities.
Why did he say I'm a glory in my infirmities? Now, it's a little bit, this scripture is just based off of what Moses is dealing with. It's a little bit different. Because, I mean, the talk is that Paul actually had a thorn. He said he had some type of ailment. Right? Moses didn't have an ailment. Moses didn't have an ailment. Moses messed up. So it was a little bit different. But even in the sense of you're getting to this point where you're letting people wear you down and you're getting kind of weak. What are you supposed to take glory in? That when you start to wear down and get weak mentally, you can always go back to the strength and pause for a moment and strengthen yourself in that moment. Yahweh Shai showed us how to strengthen ourselves in a moment. Like he's battling with the devil. Hey, hold up real quick. Let me go home and study that. Right? He couldn't do that. He couldn't say, look, damn, what scripture is that? Man, let me go home and research that. Yahweh Shai showed us how to strengthen ourselves in a moment of weakness. Right? Moses showed us that when you have a moment of weakness, if you don't click that switch, you're gonna get caught up. David, if you don't lock in quick, you're gonna get caught up. But you have to deal with. See, the point is here, why did the Most High even give Moses a little bit of extra time? David, these great men, because at least in their mess up, they didn't sink all the way and they dealt with the repercussion like men. They didn't run from it, man. Go ahead.
That the power of Christ may rest upon me.
Because that's the point. That's the only power that's going to work. That's the only thing that's going to get you through your weakness and keep you strong. Jump back. Go back to Deuteronomy. So remember, he's recapping that whole 40 years for this generation. He's giving them history. He does not want them to make the same mistakes that their fathers and grandmothers and moms made. Y'all see this? In case y'all were too young to understand, let me tell it to you again. Go ahead. But he didn't see, but the dope part about it, like I said, he didn't leave out the part where he messed up. He was upfront with the people. He said, look, this is what happened. Yeah. He didn't skip around that like, oh yeah, see, y'all weren't there, so I'm gonna make myself look extra glorious.
I was the man.
Yeah, I was the man. I did everything perfect.
I got y'all here, man.
Yeah. He didn't boast himself. He said, look, I made a mistake, man. I gotta take my shots. I gotta take my licks. Right. And he was transparent with the people. And you know, that goes a longer way. Like he didn't make himself like a damn Superman.
You know, I was gonna say too, you know, in the Corinthians, when it was saying like the strength is made and weakness is made strength. And weakness is made strength. Well, you can look at Moses and even being told that you ain't gonna get there, but then having to still deal with this people that's complaining and murmuring, and you still got to deal with them, even though you're told that you're not going to get there, and then you're dealing with them to try to get them there, but they're part of the
damn problem. Why
you can't get there? But when it says that the strength is made, strength and weakness, you got to see it, man. Like how many of us would have been able to have even deal with that? to go through the same things that they're going through when maybe you didn't deserve. Like you're a little bit more on point with the Most High. You're a little bit more on point with the Most High. And you're moving. But they're not on point. But you got to suffer the same things that they're suffering because of them. And now you can't taste the end blessing, but they're going to be tasting it. Their kids may taste it. You see what I'm saying? Right. But even to go through that shows the type of man he is.
But let me say one thing. If Moses was more on point with the Most High, why did he become like the people that weren't on point with the Most High? Y'all get what I'm saying? For that moment, he became what he was supposed to be leading. Think about it. The people were frustrated. The people were scared. The people were faithless. The people didn't glorify the Most High. That's why they always begged to go back to Egypt. Right? So in that split second, instead of standing strong that whole way through, Moses became the very thing that he was not supposed to become, which was the weak-ass people that were there with him. He let them drag him into that what do you call it? Crab in a barrel mentality, but on a whole different level. Right? Like you can't become the thing that you're trying. You can't become the thing that you're leading, because then who's really leading? Who's leading who? If I'm the head and I become the tail, then who's the head? Doesn't make sense, right? And that's what happened. So it's still Moses' fault. Yep. At the end of the day, the more greater thou art, the more you humble yourself. As much as given, much is required. As a leader of the people, so is his officers. I mean, I can go here all day, right? So it's still, at the end of the day, it's Moses' fault. The majority of the blame, if you had to give the blame, you got to give him the majority. He didn't get somewhere because of him. He didn't have to react like that. You see that? Nobody hit him. It's true. Yeah. As much as they was trying, nobody put a hand on Moses. You see that? So, go ahead, read on.
Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 27. Get thee up into the top of Pisgah, and lift up thy eyes westward, and northward, and southward, and eastward, and behold it with thy eyes, for thou shalt not go over this Jordan, but charge Joshua, and encourage him, and strengthen him, for he shall go over before the people.
And what does this show? That the Most High always got a replacement. It's not predicated on one man. You got people that'll leave the truth like, oh yeah, when I leave, things are gonna, bruh, stop. When you leave, things get better. Yeah, I mean, cats done peeled, sisters, brothers done peeled, and in their mind, they're like, see, I'm gonna show them. And it's like, damn. All of a sudden, all the contention, all the councils are gone. Right? It's peace. Right? Until the next person starts to rouse up. But it's like, man, it's peace. The Bible says it. Cast out the scorner, contention and reproof shall cease. You're not changing nothing because you're not around us. You're not changing. Like, you know how many brothers thought? I know brothers for a fact thought that when they left, oh, the mall was going to fall 20 years later, 20-something years later, mall still trucking along. I had brothers that really, there was brothers in Colorado that really thought like that. Like, yo, I am the mall. Because they could go in there and sell oil's good. Okay. You can sell oil's good. Right? But then when they left, what happened? That pride was taken out of the situation, and the Most High allowed other men to step up. And that collective unit that worked together, that was able to work together, they became a better unit than that one man. Woe to him that's left alone. Right? Sisters be thinking like, oh, I'm going to leave and, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to show them. And then I'm going to go live a better life outside the truth. It's a fake. You faking it. You fronting. You capping. That smile, that inside of that smile, it's all cries. It's a cap. I don't care what your title is. I don't care what you're driving. I don't care what you're putting on social media. Deep inside that little spirit is a little girl, a little boy torn and crying and wishing that what? You had people around you that really cared, that people around you that was really going to actually hold you accountable. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High always got a replacement that's ready to step up. And guess what? Did Joshua have to do anything outside the norm to become the replacement? Or did he just do the faithful thing? It said that Joshua had another spirit with him. Well, he had the spirit of the Lord on him, and he moved in that spirit, and the Most High recognized that spirit and said, you know what? I choose him. Joshua didn't have to do nothing crazy, but just be a man. Just stand up for righteousness. He had to do nothing wild. Joshua just needed the experience from Moses to be able to understand how to deal with the people, the do's and the don'ts. But there's always somebody to replace. We see it in our lives all the time. So don't think like if I leave, they're going to suffer and I'm going to win. Nah, the Most High, he got other plans, man. He got other plans, right? If it's going to sink, it would have been sunk. That's the thing. If it was going to collapse, it would have been collapsed. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 28, last precept.
Work not of the Most High, right?
God.
And he shall cause them to inherit the land which thou shalt see. So we abode in the valley over against Beth Peor.
Right. So when a person leaves, or when the Most High moves a man or a woman out the way, but what is he moving out the way? Unfaithfulness. So a faithful man or woman can step in that stead. That's all it is. You can make up whatever story. You can make up whatever situation. Oh, well, this happened. You can make up whatever you want. No, the Most High is just replacing unfaithfulness with faithfulness. Unbelieving with believing. You see that? Rooted with not rooted. That's all the Most High is doing. That's it. Because no matter what, Moses is the perfect example of going through every single thing with people and still being there. And not blaming the people for his mess up or for him not being there. It's a perfect example. Think about it. He went through 40 plus years of just dealing with people trying to hurt him, kill him, talk crap about him, talk about his mama, his daddy, probably talked about his auntie. He had his own family turn on him. Think about it. He had his own family turn on him. And guess what? Did he ever tell the Most High to kick Miriam out the camp? Yeah, she's whack. Get her out of here. Yeah, this nigga Aaron, man. I lace this cat with the priesthood. And look at this cat, man. He making me look bad. Mm-hmm. You ever did that? So Moses went through things intimately. And then he went through things on a general level. Right? But think about it. You go through something with a family member and it destroys your whole countenance. You can't even move. You can't even breathe. How much more of a person that you don't know try to pull up on you or talk bad about you? You'll lose it. All these examples was to show you, man, that no, by all means, fight and stick in there. Even with the little mess up, he still fought and stuck in there. Even with the go get Joshua, anoint him. Man, Joshua, this nigga's young. He don't know nothing. Man, look, see, I ain't doing that. I say, you know what? You're right. He gave us all the examples so there couldn't be no excuse. What's that?
Romans 3:3, talking about what you just said.
You can read it.
Romans chapter 3, verse 3. Yeah, for what if some do not believe?
Right.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Nope. God forbid, right? Yeah. That's a hell no in layman's terms. That's a hell no in layman's terms. No, your unbelief ain't gonna make the faith void. because there's going to be somebody else faithful to step up. So you can continue to be unbelieving and faithless. Fine. That's on you. But don't think that you're gonna that your unbelief. Think about it. You don't believe and you're not around. That's not affecting us. I mean, it's affecting us like this. It's less talking. It's less talking to be had. It's less counsels. It's less, damn, bro, what's your problem? Damn, sis, you ain't getting this. It's less of that. So, kudos to you. Kudos to you. It's like I said Wednesday. My patience is very long suffering, I believe. But I do realize that there's certain things I'm just not going to deal with. And you can go deal with that on your own time, at your house, with your husband, or with your single self, whatever it is. You can deal with that on your own, man, with your own demons. You go juggle them demons in your house by yourself. You ain't got to deal with that. We better off not dealing with that. We stronger without that. That's the point. The 12 apostles were stronger without Judas. When he died, you think they was like, oh my gosh, we down a man. What are we going to do? What did they do? They were like, next, got this nigga out of here. Now we know the devil is gone. The devil is not welcome here. Right? We got him out. Who's ready to step up that's going to be more faithful than him? When you sisters see a sister leave, you should be saying, damn, okay, who's ready to step up and be more faithful than her? When y'all see a brother leave, brothers, y'all should be saying, man, okay, who's going to step up and be more faithful than him? Not, oh, wait, why did he leave? What did they do to him? Be your first thought. Damn, why did she leave? What did they do to her? No, what did they not do for themselves? What did they not fortify themselves in? It ain't what somebody did to them. Well, you guys were mean to me. Oh, because we showed you the Bible? You guys didn't do it. Why? Because we showed you the Bible? Because we didn't let you get your way? Because we didn't let you push your narrative? The Most High didn't let Moses push his narrative. If he would have gave Moses a chance, he might have been like, bruh, nah, listen. Nah, I don't want it to go that way. But you're not here to push your narrative or get your way. It's the Most High's way or by the highway. It ain't my way. Everything we show y'all, did I write it? Everything that we do, did I tell us to do it? No. It was being done before I came around. Many years. I'm just a copy. I'm just a faithful man that's teaching others. Right? So those ones that don't want to be faithful, man, in this, don't look and ask yourself, what did they do to them for them to leave? You should be asking yourself, wait a minute, what do I need to do to make sure I'm not like them and falling off? How can I strengthen myself to be able to go through the things that they weren't able to bear? How do I get to the understanding that they never got? That's what you should ask yourself. Don't ask how the wicked should be punished, but ask how the godly shall be saved. Right? Read on.
Me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1.
Si, senor.
Now therefore, hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live, and go in and possess the land which the Lord God of your fathers gives you. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish out from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. Your eye hath seen what the Lord did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that follow Baal Peor, the Lord thy God hath destroyed them from among you. But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day.
You that did what?
But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God.
So what happens to the ones that didn't cleave? They die. Ye that cleave to the Lord, cleave to him and he shall cling to you. Woe to him that is faint-hearted and has lost patience. Like, don't get it twisted. Because you get to live your little life, because you get to move around in the streets, don't get it twisted. Something is right around the corner. It's right around the corner. It's right up the block. It's right there. It's ready. It's waiting. Right? That certain fearful looking for fiery indignation. And if you ain't looking, if you ain't watching, if you in this situation, then you just a prideful dummy. You just a prideful dummy. The one thing we got to realize, man, is that like Moses is seeing, you got to do your part, but you can't hang on to people. You can't make people. Right? We got to do our part as leaders, as brothers, as sisters. But you're not going to make someone stay here. You're going to be losing people left and right. Paul, he talks about how many people he left. This cat was caught up in the world. This nigga didn't care about the truth. He was lazy. This cat went this way. This cat went that way. Right? You see it from the Old Testament all the way through. The ones that are cleaving, they're not cleaving to me. They're not cleaving to us. Read it again. Or excuse me, the ones that live. It's not about cleaving onto me or my idea. Read it again.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 4. But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God,
right, are
alive, every one of you this day.
Right. The ones that cleave to the Lord are alive, man. The Most High is the life. Christ, who is your life. Not me, not stream of wisdom, whatever acronym we got. No. Because as you can see, acronyms and names change. You can do that in an instant. What you gonna do? Oh, I was clinging to ISBHPK and they changed the name. I'm out. You lost. They changed the name. I like the ISBHPK. I'm gone. I don't like that S.O.W. stuff. Oh, too bad. You should have been clinging to Christ and the name wouldn't even have mattered. You should have been clinging to the Most High. The name, a building, a location, none of that would have even mattered. You would have got life. So read on. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
That's what we were supposed to cling to, the law. We were supposed to cling on to the law, and then by clinging on to the law, that's how you cling on to the Most High. And that's how you, remember, this book of the law shall not, what does it say in Baruch 4:1? All those that keep it shall come to life. All those that leave it shall die. I mean, right? That's what it says. That's what it says. That's what it applies to. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them.
Do what?
Keep therefore and do them.
No. Don't keep those. Just keep only 10.
Keep therefore and do them.
No, I'm only going to keep the commandments of Jesus. Because he brought a different commandment than what God gave him. Keep the commandments of Jesus. Because he brought a different commandment than what the Most High gave him. See, that's what the Christian brothers and sisters will tell you. Like Christ came with a different law. Nigga, please. Please. Why would he come with a different law if he was doing things in the law? Why would he come with a different law if he was keeping Passover, rocking fringes, telling other people to go keep the law, healing lepers, now go present yourself to the priest and sin no more? Why would he come with a different law? No, Christ just came with the understanding of the law. You got to understand one thing. with the amount of churches that are out there that teach that the law is done away with. And the Most High is saying to cling to the law, and that's where you'll get the life. Do you realize how many people have to die? Just if you look at the churches, if you look at just the churches, all the Biblia Iglesias that are around, right? I know I said that wrong. Say it for me. Iglesia, Biblia, what? Say it. Right. Bible schools, right? All the Iglesias, right? That are around just in Houston. And then all the Hamite churches that are all next to them. Right? You got 15 Hamite churches and one Issachar church. 1 9.5 church. You're like, dang. But then think about all the mega churches of just black folk. All them Baptists down south, big Baptist church. And then you got the Protestants and the Lutherans and the Pentecostals and the this and the that. Yep. And the Lutheran Pentecostal baptism of Christ and Nebuchadnezzar. All that. The Nebuchadnezzar church of the Pentecost and the Passover. All that, right? And then you got the plain old white Edomite Christians. Just think about how many churches there are that tell you, no. We ain't got to keep the law. They're all done. They're doomed. And then think about it. You got the whole nation of Islam. I don't care if you NOI, Nation of Islam, if you a Sunni, if you a this Muslim, that Muslim, they're all finished. Yep. Because they don't believe in the law of the Most High. Wow. And then every atheist is gone because they don't believe in the law of the Most High. Right? And then you got Israelite schools that what? Some of them don't believe in keeping the law. They're like, oh, we can still eat shrimp. My name is Judah Ben Israel, but I'm cooking up them shrimps. Wow. Judah Ben Israel is eating shrimps? Wow. The hell? But there's many different schools of thought because Paul said in Corinthians, the shambles, right? The meat markets. So just think about it. Now, am I sitting here acting like I'm like 100% law keeper? Like I'm just like perfect in the law? No, I'm not saying that. But I do acknowledge what the law says and what we should be doing in that everything won't be done in the law just through circumstance. The Most High knows that. The Most High said it that way. The Most High said it that way. Believe it or not, it's set up that way. How can I say that? Well, just read Deuteronomy. If you're going to go to your enemies for food, drink, meat, clothing, are they going to sit there and say, oh, he's a Jew. You know what? Let's get that kosher plate out for him. Hell no. They're going, oh, he's a Jew? Oh, you know what? Oh, they think they're the Jews, huh? Well, guess what? Let's put these pork enzymes in the chicken. Because what do they know? The more we break the law, the further we are from the Most High. Y'all see the point? So it's not about, I'm not sitting up here professing perfection. But I do know one thing. We acknowledge the law. We keep the feast days. Right. We even if you want to deal with what I believe in the law of Christ. But what is Christ telling you in the 2 commandments? What is he telling you in the 2 commandments that niggas want to just believe in? First and foremost, that means you got to love your neighbor as yourself. You got to be with your neighbor continually. That's one. To love the Most High with all your heart, you have to love your neighbor continually. Why? Because you can't love what you don't see. Drop your gift at the altar and go deal with your brother. Then come talk to the Most High. So either way, you can't avoid your neighbor. You can't avoid a brother. Right? But the church don't teach. A lot of institutions don't teach neighborhood gathering. They still teach individualism. A lot of people in church are still selfish as hell. They got to make sure they coming up, that they good. Yep. So you still hanging your life on 2 laws and you still breaking both. You breaking both. You see how it don't make sense? So he's telling us right here how to cling to him and how to get life. Read on.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Heed therefore and do them. Right. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Like, think about this. Just think about it. Why wouldn't Why would someone tell you not to keep the law of the Bible?
Wow.
The world should want Israelites as neighbors. Because if I keep the law of the Bible tells me not to sleep with your woman, not to steal from you, not to molest your children, not to lie, to cheat, to steal, to deceive. Right? The Bible teaches us to deal with people the way we want to be dealt with. Why would I tell somebody not to do that? How wicked are you? How wicked are you to tell somebody, oh, no, it's okay to steal? Because if I don't have to keep it, that means what? It's okay to do it. But then you got the nerve to be mad when a nigga rapes your woman or sleeps with her, sneaky link, creeping. You got the nerve to be mad when a cat's looking at your wife. You see what the world has created?
Yep.
You see what religion has created? It's created its own downfall. Where the Most High set things in order to keep order. And if we don't follow the Most High, then there's disorder. So why would I want to live around a bunch of niggas that kill each other? Who does? Who wants to live around a bunch of Negroes that kill each other?
Nobody. Right.
But wouldn't they stop killing each other if you just said, look, follow the Bible? If you taught them the principles of the Bible, wouldn't they stop killing each other? Wouldn't Black and Hispanic people be a little bit more friendly? If they can do it to each other, wouldn't they be more friendly to the world? Yeah. But you see what religion has taught us? To be chaotic, to be archaic, to be barbaric. This is what religion has taught us, man.
Results are the results.
Yeah. This is the result of religion. What's that?
I love what you're saying, and Abishaya and I were talking about church. I think it was about a month ago.
Right.
And I was saying how I knew before it came to that point when I started to change and to leave the Christian church is because it was easy. Because you see the pastor, he was sleeping with all the women in the church.
Damn.
Then you had, well, I'm just saying, in general.
Yeah, in general.
I've been that way. I've been in a Christian church. Yeah.
You've been there for a while.
All my life.
Yeah, so you done seen
so
some things.
I saw.
You might have to start picking your brain more.
The pastor would sleep with the women. The wife would dress loosely. You had the deacon that was drunk. You had the choir director that was gay. Yeah. You had the usher who was,
gay.
Mean. So
the usher that was mean, yeah.
Right. You had everything.
You didn't want to usher nobody.
The choir members were gossipers. And I'm just saying, because I was part of it at one point too. But that's what made it easy, because everything that was bad about you, you saw it uplifted. All these people had titles. So it was no reason for you to really change, because if you can see all these people who are being glorified, why do I have to change to not be a gospel? Why do I not have to be mean? Why do I not have to be a drunk or gay or whatever?
Right.
It was easier to be, unless you would fight and read your word, then you would do that. But it was so easy for you to see those examples. It was hard, because you thought that just because you came to church or went to Wednesday night Bible study and joined the choir, that you were being a Christian. But that's what they would say. You would go to church during the week, except for Sunday, you were Christian. And so now I'm like, well, babe, so what is it now? When we're here, 4 days out of the week or whatever, what are we? And you get scrutinized for that. So I just wanted to add that, because I know, the more that I am in the truth, I see that those were the examples that were before us in the majority of the churches. And it was easy to do because it did not require you to change.
Yeah.
Not much, anyway.
Not much. What's that? Everybody gonna testify.
Yeah, you know it. Because coming out
about to bang on Christianity. Go ahead. Let's go. I'm ready.
Of course, I
got all my scriptures.
I come out of the church too, so I like everything that she was talking about. That's what's true. It's a show that depicts exactly what she's saying. It's called Greenleaf. Everything that's you just watch that. That's exactly what goes on.
I tell everybody, if you want to understand the Christian church, watch Greenleaf. It's on Netflix. They got like 6 seasons.
Yeah,
It's gonna give you all the dirt
Yeah.
about pastor wife,
His son.
pastor son, him wife,
Yep.
the deacon. It's gonna give you all the dirt, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, this what they doing in church?" Well, they ain't making it up.
No.
They ain't making it up. They getting it from somewhere. They know what the church is on. That's why they showing you.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a dramatization, and it's a little bit more amped up in certain sequences, but for the majority, it is true.
Everything she said was so true. When I came up, his size, I was that size before.
When you were a newborn? You came out that big eye? Smiling. You're a hardy cat.
And then she said it absolutely correct. Only one thing you left out, the pastor stealing. Okay?
Oh, the pastor was stealing. Yeah. Now he ain't got to steal. He just got to write it off.
Yeah.
That's true.
All he got to do is put that on something else. You got to change them books around.
Coming up in there, this is no joke. This is no joke, man. I learned to not fear the Lord. That's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah. I had no fear. Okay? Because I was always taught this. You know, you do that, just feel God to forgive. And that was always, that stayed in my spirit. She thought wasn't cool, I go do it. And I said, Lord, please forgive me. That's what they made me feel. That's how they told me. And another thing they told me. This what made me come about it when I started saying, well, she really know what made me come out of it. When I ain't gonna go to that part. You know what made me come out. Anyway, what really got me is when I was like told that I'm sealed. Once I accept Christ, I can never lose the salvation. You locked and sealed. Then when I started reading for myself, I ran into something in Revelation that said, hold up, whoa. Right here the Lord say, if you remove anything from him, I forgot your name, I thought I was sealed. So I started questioning that. But brother, you don't understand. I said, you just told the truth that I don't. You got me confused if I don't understand. You told me that I'm sealed. Got in this truth, I started seeing more and more. But the law said, whoever endure until he leaves, that one shall be saved. So, okay, you told me that once I accepted Christ, I was saved. Right then, I was sealed, and right there, I could never, I'm telling you what they said, you could never lose your salvation under no circumstances. So that's what made me say, I'm getting up out of him. She really know why I come up out of him. I'm not going to go there.
Yep. Read on. Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
And the reason why, this is why the nations look at us in such disdain. Because what wisdom do we even have? They're like, look, black on black, we talk about how much the white man kills us. And you know what their response is? Well, y'all kill each other? Be like Chicago. Hard. Can we turn that down just a little bit? I am cold. Bro, this AC is killing me. Oh, I am. Y'all see the goosebumps? Yeah, he do be having goosebumps. Bruh. Wow. 74. You can put on 75. A degree matters. But y'all gotta see, man. The nations look at us with such disdain. They say it. Like, even when we say, man, we the true Jews and we this, they're like, y'all? You can see why they don't believe nothing that come out of our mouth. Because they're not looking at you. They're looking at us as a whole. And as a whole, what do they know about us? BET Awards, twerking, BBLs, broomstick eyelashes, weave like a donkey all the way, dragging down the hallway, baby mama drama, long witch fingernails, like dog claws, right? Wife beaters, pants sagging, drugs, bad rap music, bad R&B music, right? Baby daddies, don't take care of your children, food stamps, welfare, right? That's all they know about us. on a mass scale because that's what's being pushed about us.
Right.
But that's what we glory in. We don't. That's what we hold on to. Niggas would rather hold on to food stamps than the Bible. I got this EBT card, man. I gotta. Like, Bible got dust on it, but that EBT card got the whole strip is worn out. Swiping, yeah. I need that bread. What about the bread of life? What about the bread of Christ? But see, this is what we're known for. We're not known for wisdom. Even the ones that are wise of us, what are they usually pinned as? And when I say wise of us, I'm not talking about like Israelites that know they're Israelites. I'm talking about like wise in this world, like a Jay-Z, like a Ice Cube, like these guys. We look at them as sellouts, right? Because why? They rather get the money. They'll sprinkle lightly something in for black folks, a verse, a bar, but it's still about their pocket and their game. So even the ones of us that are wise in this world are trash, right? And the nations look at them as what? Then they look. You think these white boys looking at Jay-Z like he's somebody? Come on, man. Only we look at Jay-Z like he's somebody. Then these white chicks is storming over to go see Beyonce. No, they're trying to go see Taylor Swift. Right? They're not glorying in the things that we're glorying. They're looking at us, and if they do run to flock to us for entertainment, that's all we are. Is their entertainment. LeBron James is a basketball playing monkey. Beyonce is a dancing monkey. Kendrick Lamar is a rapping monkey. That's why white people go to see them, because in their eyes, y'all are just apes. Y'all are monkeys juggling lyrics and juggling basketballs for my entertainment. Because I done had a long day, right? At work, building a corporation, bossing you niggas around. Now I just want to sit back, sip a scotch, and watch you niggas juggle. That's what they think about us. I mean, y'all know that, right? Kanye said it. You just a nigga in a Benz. You think that like they don't even flock to the things that we flock to. You ever hear a white man talking about, I gotta go cop me this SL 500 Benz? White people with money is like, listen, nigga, I'm about to go buy a block.
Right?
I'm about to go buy a block. I was looking at property the other day. Me and him been looking. Right by my house. Right on Bissonnette. And Old Richmond Road. There's an empty lot. You want to know how much that empty lot is going for? I told you. We drove by it. Huh? Yeah, up that by like 50. It's like 5.1 million. Yeah. You would look at it and say, oh, that's cheap. Let me go cop that. Until you look at that price tag. It's the location. It's Bissonnette. See, we use Bissonnette to get hoes and get drugs. They use Bissonnette to make money. It's a whole different ball game. The spot we were street speaking at on Bissonnette yesterday. Right across the street was a building that we had looked at for a school. This was when Kazak and them was here. But this is what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago, we went to go look at this spot, and H&R Block rents it out during tax time. They wanted like $5,000 a month for the rent. Pretty big, right? So he said, man, it hasn't been rented out in 4 or 5 years. Maybe 7 or 8. And he's like, I don't get it. Why they just let it sit? I said, because the person that owns the H&R, that building, they own the whole strip. They still making money. You know how much that strip is worth? If that little corner on Bissonnette is worth 5-point-something million, that strip with buildings already on it making money, that thing's like a $10 million strip. But what do we use it for? Hookering, hoes, prostitutes, drugs. They got Africans in there paying rent. They got the sound spot paying rent. So they're paying for the empty lots. They don't care about renting to you if you just because you want it, giving you a deal because you want it. Somebody's already paying that rent. They already bought that lot for their money. They just recouping the money from the tenants. One person owns this whole strip. Yep. Along with the restaurant, along with those restaurants. One person. They bought the land and they let people come and develop on it. That's how it works. So if this is empty, they don't care. As long as there's somebody paying rent, it's being paid. That's how it works. That's how it works. So we're more concerned with the wrong things. Even the wise of us that have worldly wisdom still do it wrong. And they're looking at us like, you trying to go buy a Benz and I just bought a whole block. You trying to go buy a house and I just bought a whole damn 30-story building. I got people paying me rent. The priorities is messed up. We move with wisdom because let's be real. The wisdom of the Bible is not just moral, civil, dietary. It gives us a financial code also. Y'all know that, right? When tucked in the civil and moral laws, there's financial know-how in there. There's financial stuff that's in there. It talks about money. The Bible talks about money all through it. Shekel, every time it talks about a shekel, what's that? That word shekel is in the Bible a lot. A lot. Because you need money, right? You need to be able to build things. What were we trying to go to Canaan for? To just be bums and live off the Canaanites? Or were we supposed to go there, destroy what they had, and then build what we needed? But how can you build without wisdom? When one man build and one man tear it down, what do you have but labor? Y'all see that?
And money is a byproduct of wisdom as well.
Money is a byproduct of wisdom. But you need wisdom to build. You need knowledge to build. They look at us like, yo, what are you trying to build? Read on.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
All right. Shemaiah Allah, you're up. Shemaiah Allah, Shabbat Shah Yahweh, Bariasha Allah, Benevisra Amayim, Rock.
Yahweh Shem Hashabakatham.
Yahweh Shem Hashabakatham. Verse 30.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
This is going to be Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 7. For one nation, they are so great, who has the Lord so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for. And what nation, they are so great, that has statutes, judgments so righteous.
No, that has chains and cars.
That has judgments.
Hose, clothes, and hose.
That has statutes and judgments.
Money, clothes, and hose, and all the nigga knows.
That has statutes and judgments.
See, they're not going to look at us for what we possess carnally. At the end of it all, the nations are going to look, they're not going to cling to him that is a Jew because your garment is dope. Or because you got hot rap lyrics. Or because you got all the women. It's about what? Read it again.
And what nation is that so great that has statutes and judgments?
It's about our statutes and judgments. The law shall go forth from Zion. Right? Let us go up to the mount of the Lord and learn his law. Right? Not learn how to roll a blunt. Niggas ain't gonna be coming to learn how to roll blunts. In the end days, in the kingdom, they're not gonna come up and pull up to you to learn how to cook crack, or how to beat your woman, or how to pimp women and get chicks in check and all that. They're not coming for that. They're gonna be coming for the same very thing we're trying to get now: order, structure, discipline. Right? All coming through the law. Go ahead.
Verse 7. For what nation is that so great who has so nigh to them Shalaka? Sorry about that. Verse 8. And what nation is that so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set upon you this day? Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons, especially the day that thou stoodest before the Lord thy God in Horeb. The Lord said unto me, gather me the people together.
Imagine being able to destroy your enemies before they even become a thought. Wow. Imagine. Imagine being able to suppress your enemies before they even become an enemy, where they wouldn't even think. Solomon did it. He said, I subdued tyrants under me. Because before Solomon came, there were tyrants. The damn Philistines were animals, right? They were steady hunting us. And David was steady fighting the Philistines and trying to wipe them out, right? Amalek and all these nations. But how did Solomon manage to do something that David didn't do? Or Saul? Where were the Philistines then? Where was Amalek then? They were still around, right? They were still around. Where were the Canaanites then? Right? Remember, the dude you got all the wood from, her mom? What's his name? His name started with an H though, but yeah, he was from Tyre. Tyre and Zidon. He was their king. But how did he subdue these nations into not even wanting to threaten Israel? It was through wisdom first. It wasn't no navy. It wasn't anything. It was wisdom. And he was come on, Solomon had, Solomon had shields of gold. Think about it. Then when Solomon died, they had to replace the gold with brass. Because can you go fight with gold? No, that was symbolic of what? We ain't trying to fight. We don't need to fight. Gold is a soft metal. So a shield of gold is not protecting anybody. You see that? But now we got to switch it up to the brass because obviously when the kingdom split, you got two knuckleheads in there. So they allow the gold and stuff to be taken. But now you got to use that brass also because we do have to go to war. We do got to fight for things all of a sudden. You see that? So what was keeping Solomon in that 40-year reign of peace? It was the same very thing that the Most High that the Most High gave us to keep these other nations subdued under us. That's why when you go back into the Apocrypha, it says, he that teaches his son, avenge the enemy. So now we're in an avenging mode because we got to teach our sons to show them, okay, this is the enemy, son. This is how you get above the enemy now. Where we should have been in this mode of teaching your son, teaching your daughter, and they would stay above the enemy. We'd stay above the other nations. So now we got to work harder. Now we got the uphill climb. Y'all see this? All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy 4 verse 10. And I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. And ye came near and stood under the mountains, and the mountain buried with fire unto the midst of heaven, the darkness, the clouds, and thick darkness. Verse 12. And the Lord spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude. Only ye heard a voice. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments. He wrote them upon 2 tables of stone, And the Most High commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go over to possess it. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the days that the Most High spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God had divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. Verse 20, but the Most High had taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. Furthermore, the Most High was angry with me for your sakes, and swear that I should not go over Jordan, and that I should not go in unto that good land, which the Most High thy power giveth thee for an inheritance.
See verse 21? But the Lord was angry with me. This is Moses offering some transparency in the situation. The Lord was angry with me, right? For your sakes. You see that? Go ahead.
Verse 22. But I must die in this land. I must not go over Jordan, but ye shall go over and possess that good land. Take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of the Most High your power, which he made with you, and make you a graven image or the likeness of anything which the Most High thy power hath forbidden thee. For the Most High thy power is a consuming fire, even a jealous God. When thou shalt beget children and children's children, and ye shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image or the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of the Lord thy power, to provoke him to anger, I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from out the land whereunto ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed.
That happened.
Go ahead. Verse 27. And the Most High shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But if from thence thou shalt seek the Most High thy power, thou shalt find him. If thou seek him all thy heart and with all thy soul. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Most High thy power, and shall be obedient unto his voice,
Magana War, Shabra Shal, Yahawada, Banya Shrala.
We're going to war show Yahawada, Banya Shrala, Nudazra Amadi, Barak.
Yahaba Hashem Yahushua Braktam.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Deuteronomy 4:31.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 31. For the Most High thy power is a merciful power. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he sware unto them. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that the Most High created man upon the earth, and ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there have been any such things as this great thing is, or hath been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of the Most High, speaking out of the midst of the fire? As thou hast heard and lived, or have God essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation, by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that the Most High your power did for you in Egypt before your eyes. Verse 35. Unto thee it was shown, that thou mightest know that the Most High, he is God. There is none else beside him. Out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice, that he might instruct thee. And upon earth he showed thee his great fire, and thou heardest his word out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved thy fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought thee out in his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt, to drive out nations from before thee, greater and mightier than thou art, to bring thee in, to give thee their land for an inheritance. As it is this day, know therefore this day, and consider it in thine heart, that the Most High, he is God in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath, there is none else. Thou shalt keep therefore his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days upon the earth, which the Most High thy power giveth thee forever. Then Moses served 3 cities on this side Jordan toward the sun rising, that the slayer might flee thither, which should kill his neighbor unawares, and hated him not in times past, and that fleeing unto one of these cities he might live.
So again, it's just recapping. So now it's just talking about the refugee cities that we read about in past Sabbaths.
Right.
Go ahead.
Namely, Bezir in the wilderness, in the plain country of the Reubenites, and Ramoth in Gilead of the Gadites, and Golad in Bashan of the Messanites. And this is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Moses spake unto the children of Israel after they came forth out of Egypt, on this side Jordan, in the valley over against Beth-Porah, in the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon, whom Moses and the children of Israel smote after they were come forth out of Egypt. And they possessed his land, and the land of Og, king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on this side Jordan toward the sun rising, from Aurora, which is by the bank of the river Arnon, even unto Mount Sihon, which is Hermon, and all the plain of this side, on this side Jordan eastward, even unto the sea of the plain, under the springs of Pisgah. And Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 1.
Any questions?
Question. Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 19 basically goes into the he goes into the moon, the stars, and this is what he gave to the nation for them to serve whenever he was dealing with Israel. Correct? So he was, I'm not saying grooming us, but he was trying to teach us.
Well, no. I think you're misreading that. Read 19 again.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
And least thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven.
Go ahead.
And when thou seest the sun,
right,
and the moon,
right,
and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven,
right,
shouldest be driven to worship them,
come on,
and serve them,
right,
which the Most High thy power hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
Right. So what he's saying is the sun, the moon, and the stars, everyone can see. Right? The sun and moon and stars was created for all men. Right? But the law was given to us to not worship the sun, moon, and stars. Right? Thou shalt have no other powers before you. Now, were they worshiping the sun, moon, and stars before this time?
They were.
Yeah. So
he didn't give it to them to worship.
No. Remember, he said the moon is, what was the moon created for?
Just a light.
No.
Seasons.
Right.
Seasons and
what was the sun created for?
Top of the light.
Right. So to give you the designation between day and night. Right. The moon was created for seasons and times. But it wasn't either way, neither one. What were the stars created for? To